Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope I'm going live about now. No apologies this time for longer hiatus. All of it was planned for once, but on the weekend I do have plans that will lead to a slightly longer hiatus. So apologies in advance, I guess. But as you can see from the thumbnail, from the title, by the way, we have some weird stuff going on with the chat. I see Rosa chatting normally. I previously saw a message from Max with a membership milestone saying he couldn't send a super chat. I guess I'll try to check out if the money arrived later on. I'm not sure how to monitor individual super chats. Regardless, if you have any issues chatting, that's also why we have the Discord, because I'm apparently not that good at this YouTube stuff. Regardless, we are here for today's Samsung's Galaxy Unpacked for the announcements of the Galaxy S26 family, ranging, of course, from the base Galaxy S26, Galaxy S26 Plus, all the way up to the Galaxy S26 Ultra. It's also going to be a very interesting year to see what happens with the pricing of the Galaxies, because as you guys know, RAM and storage pricing has been absolutely insane on the PC side. It is also insane for Apple. Just today there's been a rumor or leak. It's not always clear. Like, I don't fully trust WCCF Tech, but saying that they have essentially agreed to double the LPDDR5X pricing from Samsung, and that's leading up to, of course, them slowly switching to LPDDR6 in the coming years, so that might be even more expensive per gigabyte, so don't expect too many RAM increases on Apple's devices in the near future. I'm pretty sure if they had known about this, they wouldn't have gone with 16 gigabytes on the M4, but maybe like a mid-step, like 12 gigabytes or something like that, like what we see now on the M5 iPad Pro. So to anybody who is watching this new, whether you're watching live or what afterwards, now I fully expect that my regular viewers are actually not very interested in this, because every year I get really bored and start cringing during these Samsung events. Like, I just don't like their organizational structure. They're nowhere near as bad at Google with Pixel's presentation. I'll give Samsung that. They're much more traditional and boring. But if you're used to higher quality keynotes, I'm not naming any direct competitors in that regard. Uh, it's just like I don't like Samsung's events, and it doesn't help that, for example, the Galaxy S25 series really has been pretty underwhelming in my opinion. Like, in the year where like Xiaomi, not Huawei really, but like Vivo, even Realme, like much cheaper brands from China came like with 6,000, even 7,000, close to 8,000 milliampere hour batteries, where we have 1-inch full-size sensors, where like some of them have, like, especially when it comes to zoom, they have like double to triple the size of the zoom sensor. Then even Samsung's good like 5x zoom, which, yeah, like, I'm not making here comparisons to Apple. I know Apple isn't always using the most high-end tech and the most expensive parts either. They like their profit margins. But that's kind of their prerogative by being alone, essentially, in their own market. And we see how the iPhone 17 has been extremely successful. That's because, quite honestly, people are very happy with the iPhone experience. And I'm not even saying Samsung should compete with Chinese devices in terms of exact pricing. I'm fine with Samsung having higher profit margins than Xiaomi or Vivo, of course. I think their user interface is much more refined. I think it's much more West optimized in that regard. But if you ask me, like, can Samsung get away with having like almost a generationally worse experience in some ways? Like, Samsung is like the premier like OLED, especially AMOLED display maker, and what we get from them is somehow like the last flagship, actually probably the most expensive flagship in the market, to $1,299. Meanwhile, the iPhone 17 Pro Max is like is $1,199. Sorry, $1,299 for Samsung, $1,199 for the iPhone, right? And the Galaxy S25 Ultra is pretty much the last flagship with an 8-bit panel. Everything else is 10-bit. Everything else is brighter too. And some Android competitors are pushing into 144 hertz, 160 hertz. I'm pretty sure some will soon soon try to get to 180. I'm not quite sure if LTPO is that good for mobile yet, but yeah, I'm not trying to attack Samsung here. I'm fully open-minded, though we have already reacted to a lot of spec leaks about these new devices in a way. So it is a little bit iffy. Like I really am curious to see what's the peak brightness of the panel. I want to see what the benefit of the f1.4 aperture is versus the current f1.8 or f1.7. Regardless, it's very much close to the iPhone and basically every other flagship. So this would be one spec where Samsung is actually taking the lead over many others. Unfortunately, everything else doesn't look that great. Like, they're even switching from titanium to aluminum. And for years, we've been told by many people, oh, Samsung switched to titanium fully independently. Look, they have adopted premium materials like ceramic in the past, right? They are not following Apple. Yet, literally months after the iPhone 17 series, the 17 Pros dropped titanium, Samsung is doing the same. And apparently, from first hands-on testings. Now, those testings are not very representative. It's pre-release software. We have no idea what like the actual real-world performance is going to be. I mean, we can guesstimate because we know the performance of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 5, for example, but the exact like impact of Samsung-specific vapor chamber solution, Samsung software, all that stuff is just right now it's more up in the air. But some early testings have actually shown that it actually is cooler to the touch and seems to be dealing better with the heat of a Snapdragon 8 Gen 5 than with an Gen 4. So there is definitely some good stuff that Samsung just didn't come to their own. Like, even though like my opinion was always like they should have just stuck with aluminum and used that difference to potentially finally drop the price from an, in my opinion, insane $1299 to at least match the iPhone Pro Max at $1199. Quite honestly, I think their devices, if matching the iPhone RAM and storage amounts, should be always at least $100 less expensive, even considering the S Pen. Without the S Pen, should probably be $200 less expensive. Like, competitive Chinese devices are often $300 to $400 less expensive than an iPhone with a similar amount of RAM and storage. Regardless, I'm not here to shit on Samsung. As I said, this is coming from the perspective of an Apple fan, but anybody who watches this channel knows that I'm very open to PC hardware, Android hardware. We cover a lot of this stuff here on this channel. We give everything a fair shake, at least when it comes to initial reviews and stuff like that. We usually fall back to preferring the Apple alternative, but for example, on the laptop side, I do very much like that some companies like Asus and Lenovo already have pretty much the tandem OLED panels that Apple will adopt on the MacBook Pro just at the end of this year. So I fully acknowledge when Apple is behind, either in value or in objective hardware specifications. But with Samsung, that really hasn't been the case. Like, I would have preferred like even the non-promotion iPhone 16 versus the base Galaxy S25. Now with promotion, with A19, with Apple's own Wi-Fi modem, like, I prefer the base iPhone 17 greatly over what's most likely coming with the base Galaxy S25 and S26 Plus, S26 and S26 Plus. Sorry, it gets a little bit confusing once you have all these names, because obviously you also have all the numbers for like iOS versions, Android versions, even Samsung's One UI versions, and then you have the individual device numbers and everything. It just gets a lot. Now, let me make myself a little bit smaller because obviously we have almost 20 minutes left until the event. You can see I've already preloaded the event. We'll just watch it in full. It's probably going to be significantly less than 1 hour. Like, the only other non-Galaxy S device is going to be most likely the Galaxy Buds 4 / Galaxy Buds 4 Pro. Apparently the leaks and rumors are not quite certain about that. Hey, look, I'm even going to give Samsung a like. Ben Vinny saying, "Where's Marquez Brownie video? Brownlee? Why did I read it as Brownie? I know Marquez's name before the event. Yeah, this is also important. It's not just the big reviewers like Marquez who will. I assume he will post his video the moment the actual event starts. That's what I've seen happen. So, oh yeah, then we will be here for basically the duration of the event, and then we'll probably watch one summary video, maybe from Marquez or something like that. I guess I can check MKBHD. By the way, guys, when I was starting, I see now more people are joining the stream. Welcome to you guys. Please leave a like. That helps tremendously, helps always attract new people. Leave a comment. I see the live chat is now working okay. There seemingly were some issues with the live chat before the actual live stream. So I know somebody was actually trying to post a super chat, but apparently that didn't arrive. And now their membership bonus milestone chat also was deleted, in my opinion, way too quickly, way faster than it usually happens. So just type it in, I'll read it. And then, of course, if you're watching this video as a VOD, type in a regular comment. That helps tremendously. Okay, so MKBHD has not posted an impression of the Galaxy S26 series yet. It's also important to note, by the way, that there have been a ton of leaks already, like people literally like manhandling those devices in the wild and giving some impressions of Jesus Christ, my brain. Like, guys, let me activate my brain because after work I'm a little bit tired, so cheers. So people are saying how hot or cool it is to the touch, basically how well it's dealing with the heat of the processor. Now, again, all of this is early impressions. All of this is even bad, I would argue. I don't like pre-release stuff. It's always in some way, shape, or form misleading. But yeah, obviously we are going to be paying much more attention to the big reviewers here. And of course, as always, expect me throughout probably next week, but definitely the week after, to react to videos from the likes of Super Seth, obviously Marquez, other people, as they post their reviews. And you guys know I love especially reacting to stuff like camera comparisons. And as I noted before, we are expecting a pretty notable change in terms of camera hardware this year, and that's with the much wider, faster aperture of f1.4. So that's supposedly like letting in like a third more light. We'll see what the exact specification is. They are not mentioning, the previous leaks have not mentioned any larger sensors or significant generational gains in camera technology. Supposedly, the selfie sensor is actually a new one, switching from Samsung to Sony, but it's actually the same size and optics, which means it will probably be still way, way behind the selfie camera on the iPhone 17 Pro, which is absolutely, in my opinion, only like somewhat matched by some crazy camera specs on some Chinese devices, but even those tend to focus more on like the main sensor and the zoom. Some tech like ultra wides just seems to be very random. Like some smartphone companies adopt like almost like a 1/1.3 inch sensor for the ultra wides, which is obviously great. That's the size that Samsung uses for their main sensor. But then others will use like a 1/2.7 inch, which is like ridiculously small. Like, and like even like, and I mean like the reason why it's so ridiculous to me, because that happens on the ultra devices, some like, which I'm like, wait, what? You were supposed to beat Apple in every way, not suddenly undercut them on the ultra wides, because that's probably the least used camera. Yeah, so we'll look into that as well, but let's actually return to the Samsung presentation. I'll keep it ready. I'll keep it paused so there's no music constantly blaring in the background, destroying all our eardrums. Before we start, we have a little bit of news in the world of Apple. Obviously, to anybody who is new here, we are an Apple-focused channel. That's why I was trying to be really honest about saying, look, this is the reaction to a Samsung event from the perspective of an Apple fan. Not an Apple Apple fanboy. I know my stuff about other non-Apple tech, and I do appreciate a lot of non-Apple tech, but I'm definitely an Apple fan, and I'm not trying to hide it. I'm not trying to hide the fact that most of my community are Apple fans. So what I'm actually going to be doing now is much more in line with what you should expect if you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, follow me basically long term. So we have actually a bunch of new rumors, which is very interesting. Now, two of them are actually coming from basically our most prime sources in a way. Let's start actually with the iPhone 18 Pro and the Pro Max. Those are devices that we obviously know basically a lot about at this point. We've been getting rumors about the iPhone 18 family for about 2 years now. But coming from Bloomberg, we are basically getting a confirmation that the dynamic island is shrinking in size. If you remember some previous leaks and rumors that we've covered on this channel, there were rumors saying that the dynamic island will shrink by about a third in width. Now, we do not know if like the height is going to change notably, but basically this seems to be kind of confirmed now. I think it's actually very realistic. There's no crazy technology needed to achieve that Apple wouldn't have access to. I don't think that the technology would be crazy expensive for Apple to implement. And I think that having any kind of design change while still preserving mostly the look and feel of the 17 Pros with like the camera plateau, and then probably on top of that some new colors. One of the premier rumored colors for the 18 Pro is a dark red. So I think that actually makes a lot of sense. This has also been corroborated by Weibo and other social media leakers. Obviously, we covered like Fixed Focus Digital and Digital Chat Station. I think all of them have commented in one form or the other already that this device would have a smaller dynamic island. Now, with that rumor of a smaller dynamic island, obviously comes with the idea that some part of the Face ID system moves under screen. And now this one has obviously nothing to do with a smaller dynamic island, but even inside that smaller island, it's rumored that we're getting a better, even better selfie camera. So from an 18 megapixel one to a 24 megapixel. If you know about the actual hardware setup for the current selfie sensor, you actually know it's a 24 megapixel sensor, but because of how its alignment technologies work, so it can always give you like a 4:3 image and everything, and keep stabilization and everything up, it's basically limited to 18 megapixels. So supposedly we would be getting the full 24 megapixels from that sensor. I doubt it's actually an even bigger sensor because Apple already uses actually one of the largest selfie sensors that we have on many devices. And they're actually using it with a wider aperture than many others. Apple uses, for example, f1.9 versus Samsung using f2.2. So it's a larger sensor with an aperture that lets in more light onto that sensor. Add onto that potentially better software processing and everything, and you got yourself a recipe for a much, much better selfie camera. And I've actually noticed that I've been taking a lot more selfies with my 17 Pro Max, because not only do the selfies just look better, but they also look much more natural. And of course, they're super convenient because now, while still holding up my phone in like portrait mode, I can actually have a very wide selfie, basically a landscape selfie, right? So that makes sense. In addition to that, we're actually getting some really hard numbers for the iPhone Fold. I should be noting that these are specs that we do not actually have even for devices that are actually on the market, which is hilarious. Baylor saying Marquez always posts his video after the event. Well, that's interesting. But I remember though, like, maybe they posted like right the instant, or maybe they posted like somewhere midway through, because I remember the last time I was in the Samsung presentation, somebody told me, oh, look up there are already like reaction videos and stuff like that. And I was like flabbergasted because Baylor, similar to you, I was also like, wait, shouldn't it be like launching at the earliest right the moment it ends? And that was a little bit confusing to me. So, but hey, I'll keep an eye out. I still want to go through the event. That's part of the fun for me, even though I do get annoyed by the structure of the event and some of the cringiness of it. I do want to give you the full experience, guys. I like seeing what you are saying, not just about my reactions and even about the phone, but about the event itself in the chat. So yeah, thank you, Baylor. I'm getting so confused by the rules. I think that it's not even that I'm saying, oh, Apple's way is the perfect way. I just don't see a reason to do it any other way. Like, if you're Samsung, don't you want the attention on you for that hour? Don't you want people to present your, like, theory basically behind what you did with the new device? This is so confusing to me, like, quite honest. Like, really, you want to share the limelight instantly with every content creator online? Like, there are already assholes like me who are live streaming the event, but at least you're getting one view from me while I'm restreaming essentially the event to you guys. It's just, yeah, it's we'll keep an eye out. I honestly don't think this event is going to be very long. Like, there's probably going to be a lot of AI crap in there. Like, Samsung recently went into a partnership with Perplexity, so that's going to exist basically alongside Google Gemini for Samsung AI or Galaxy AI. Trying not to get angry because of some of the stupid naming and everything, but we'll see. Now, we mentioned some Weibo leakers. This is coming from one of them, Fixed Focus Digital, and obviously we're expecting the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max this September, but the iPhone/iPad even, I guess, iFold, whatever, iPhone Ultra, iPad Mini Fold Max, that we're expecting for the second half of the year is actually, of course, Apple's first generation foldable, which is, of course, is going to be this booklet style foldable, much more in line with the Galaxy Z Fold rather than the Galaxy Z Flip. And obviously, one of the biggest rumors and most consistent leaks about it is that Apple is basically trying to engineer away the crease, basically the place in the middle of the panel where your device is folded in half. So they want to reduce the visibility of the crease. And the way you do that is basically you literally make it as small as possible. Currently, the crease presents itself as an indentation in the panel. And obviously, the more you actually fold your device, the more it becomes visible over time. Recent generations, of course, looked way better than before, but still have been notably hurt by wear and tear over time. And apparently, Apple is targeting to make it virtually crease-free. The crease controlled to under 0.15 millimeters of thickness with a fold angle below 2.5 degrees. So obviously, if it was like very, very sharp angle and everything, right, then it would be much more visible. The more flat that angle is, the more likely it is that your eye just doesn't perceive it. Now, we don't have these numbers from like the Galaxy Z Fold or like competitive Chinese devices or whatever. These numbers sound on the purpose really good. Like one comparison that's being made here is that the sheet of paper is 0.1 millimeters thick. So this is very close to that. And obviously, if you look at the sheet of paper like this, it's basically imperceivable to you if it's part of an already existing stack of paper or something like that, right? Obviously, if your device is going to be by itself, like maybe 5 millimeters when unfolded, that's like nothing, right? It's an overall percentage of the thickness. I'm not saying it's going to be actually enough to fully eliminate the crease, but it's probably gonna come close to that. And obviously, I expect it, if Apple keeps that device in the lineup, I expect it to be improved with Gen 2, Gen 3, whatever. And the other notable leak is coming actually from our premier Apple leaker, Mark Gurman. This is basically, in my opinion, the most exciting product I'm expecting for the second half of 2026. It's the M6 based MacBook Pro. We do not yet know if it's going to apply to every M6 MacBook Pro or only the M6 Pro and M6 Max MacBook Pro. But basically, we're expecting a 2nm processor, a tandem OLED display, and now Mark Gurman is adding the fact that the dynamic island on the Mac, so basically we're expecting a dynamic island similar to the iPhone. I would hope it's actually the super slim one that we just discussed for the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. But Gurman is saying that this dynamic island will be built around a hole punch size cutout for the computer's camera. It's smaller than the pill-shaped notch in current iPhones. He does not tell us that it's actually gonna house Face ID. Obviously, we know that the notable limitation of implementing Face ID into this kind of device is the thickness of Face ID technology. So hopefully Apple fixes that, or at the very least, they just don't make the notch, the dynamic island, as obtrusive as the current notch, because given the fact that the current notch only houses a camera, it's quite big, right? So if it has Face ID, then it has an excuse to be bigger. If not, just make it as small as possible. And Gurman also doubles down on previous leaks, saying that it's going to get a touchscreen panel, and with that touchscreen panel, it's also getting a refreshed dynamic user interface that can shift between being optimized for touch or point-to-click input. According to Gurman sources, for instance, if users touch a button or control, the interface will bring up a new type of menu surrounding their finger that provides more relative options. So, seems like Apple is putting a lot of work into making touchscreen on Macs work. I really hope this is actually going to bring a lot of iPad functionality to the Mac. I really hope that more third-party apps come to the Mac. I also hope that Apple finds a way to make the screen really stable while you're tapping on it. I'm not specifically super excited about the touchscreen, but I'm very interested in seeing how Apple is going to implement that. And I am doing all of this as like a quick fire round for this individual pieces of news and rumors. Obviously, the main focus of today's presentation is the Samsung event, but expect to hear a lot more basically about these rumors and more rumors like that in the future, and my takes. If you subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, watch the streams, join our Discord. You'll find the link for that in the description. You will see basically a lot as these leaks and rumors develop. Yeah, but without further ado, I see more people are joining in. Guys, let me know what you think in the comments about the event, about my covering of it, my coverage to be more exact. And I'll just tune it all. Benvini saying you'll watch tomorrow morning. That's fine, guys. Obviously, I know even some of the best supporters of this channel rarely watch live because my schedule is quite crazy. But thank you to anyone who is joining, and thank you to anyone who is commenting and liking, subscribing, sharing the video. It all helps tremendously. Been saying keep me updated through the Discord channel. Well, I won't be doing that while I'm streaming live, but will be obviously joining the Discord after this is done, giving my initial takes. So seems like I'm fully live. As always, guys, let me know what the audio and video quality is like for you, and if there are any problems with the stream. Yeah, let's get this started. I am at least happy that Samsung is still doing like proper live events. Like obviously Apple has kind of gone away from that and preferring like pre-recorded events. But I honestly cannot be too angry with that. Their events are very high quality. You know what? I'm actually gonna make myself just a little bit smaller just to give Samsung a fairer chance. I'm not sure if there are going to be any monetization issues because of music and whatever. If you want to support me financially, leave a super chat or super sticker right here in the live chat, or consider becoming a channel member here in the long term. need subtitles.
You're moving. Can we still be best friends?
Is that really the highest quality?
I don't know.
What's up with this video quality? I'm connected with a very fast Ethernet connection, so this is not on me. This is just Samsung uploading a crappy video. Or like streaming a crappy live stream.
No, the box, silly.
Of course.
Oh, pretending like people have the same emotional attachment to these boxes as to Apple boxes. I have nieces at that age, so I guess it's kind of cute. Whatever.
I've got it.
I always hate when stuff is just overly emotional, but I'm not gonna blame Samsung for it. Everyone does these kinds of ads.
Aww. I'm gonna miss you too, Stanley.
Paige, come and finish packing.
The time!
Oh, you're hiding.
Do you want to become invisible? Yeah.
Guys, let me know if the audio is potentially too loud for you. Like, it wasn't loud enough for me. Like, but I didn't want to just make it louder for myself in the earpods.
Be there.
The audio quality is like a little weird, I would even
Any
argue.
box into a spaceship.
Like the music is way louder than the people
gonna miss
speaking,
you
which
so
I
much,
understand
Paige.
it's supposed to be subdued and
miss you too.
emotional, but
Remember, best friends.
yeah, it should have been like that all the time. So I'm a little bit confused. Oh, that's about the night photography and whatever because of the wider aperture. I also hated when they showed the device before they've actually shown the device. Like, if they show it like in ads or like pre-recorded videos before they've actually like gotten a chance to present it. Like, guys, that's what your keynote is for. That's what your presentation is for.
Forever.
Oh my God, it's not over. Jesus. This is just trying to waste time at this point. Like, look, and Apple sometimes does that too, but I feel like they are better at least mentioning the actual device in it. Okay. Is it going to be TM Raw? I always forget how to pronounce his name. Who's going to be the main guy here?
Please give a warm
That
welcome
was
to
long.
CEO and Head of Device Experience Division, TM Rowe.
Oh, TM Rowe, okay. I didn't mispronounce it too much. At least I didn't say Tim.
Good morning, everyone.
If you think that
Thank
I
you for
like
joining
Apple,
us
this
today.
guy likes Apple way more than I do.
Groundbreaking technology
If you look at how much he has
follows a similar
basically
journey.
instructed Samsung over the last
Begins
couple of
as a
years to
marvel,
copy and paste from
rare,
Apple.
expensive, and loudly celebrated.
The stream quality is
But
trash.
the
But
technologies
okay.
that change
That's not
history,
that important here. It's
something
not like a
different.
video
They
game
fade
presentation
into
or
the
something like that.
Not because they lose power, but because they become infrastructure. AI stands at that moment now. Infrastructure.
Told you there would
is
be a lot
about
of AI
responsibility.
crap.
It has to work for everyone, everywhere, without expertise or
I
friction.
wonder if they will mention
But there
how
is
much
still
Galaxy
a
AI
gap
is gonna cost
between
now.
what AI promises and what you actually experience. That's where Galaxy keeps pushing forward. We're
Oh yeah,
building
the camera
life-enhancing
cutout is a little bit
innovations
bigger now.
that are
I've seen that.
dependable, broadly available, and foundational to everyday life.
And I guess that's the Galaxy S26
achieve
Ultra,
this,
guys. It's
our
over. We've done it.
priorities
We've
are
presented
clear.
it.
We,
That's all, folks.
openness and competence.
Oh God, meaningless
First,
adjectives.
Which
Or not
AI
adjectives,
must
Jesus.
become a part of our
Character traits.
infrastructure. You should be able to enjoy its benefits through the devices you use every day. We are
Okay.
expanding Galaxy AI across our entire ecosystem to reach everyone.
I guess to the fridge.
Second,
Wait, it's
openness.
already on your devices. What do you
For
mean?
AI to truly matter, it needs to be effortless. True openness means offering the same quality of experiences to everyone. That's why Galaxy AI is designed to be easy and always available, adapting to you seamlessly and effortlessly without a learning curve. That brings us to our final pillar.
Wait, but like you
Confidence.
literally didn't say anything. Those were meaningless
People have
platitudes.
every right to ask, where is my information being shared?
Okay, that's at least
How is
something.
it being used? So we built Galaxy AI with advanced security and privacy at its core. We've evolved Samsung Knox security platform to protect your data and give you full
Which is funny
control
because it doesn't
over
have
your
all the
information.
hardware level security
With
stuff that
security
like
by default,
Google's
you
Tensor
can
chips
enjoy
have, but okay.
Personalized AI experiences with confidence.
Yeah?
Confidence.
I mean, of course,
also
you're
means
offering a lot of transparency and
power.
choice because you yourself are
This is why
not developing
we are
any of
pushing
it.
boundaries with unmatched
It's either
performance.
Google Gemini or some kind of
Working
other
closely
tools.
with our
You're not
chipset
even like what
we have
Apple is doing with the
co-developed
licensing of
an
Google Gemini.
industry-leading custom
You're just
AP
like taking
designed
Gemini. You're
for
not even
Galaxy.
really customizing it.
Together with the groundbreaking camera and the world's first built-in privacy display.
Yep. Okay, so I guess all major features are mentioned in like the first 5 minutes, which is good. Hopefully that
AI
means
has
the event isn't
widened
going to be too long.
Embraces
But it
openness
literally had
and is
nothing to
built
do
on
with AI.
confidence,
That's
it
a non
becomes
sequitur. The privacy
infrastructure.
display has nothing
And
to
from
do with the
there,
privacy
it
of the
evolves
AI.
into
The AI is what
agentic
happens
AI.
either on device or on the server,
Imagine a phone
and controlling
that
the
anticipates
privacy
your
of
needs
what's happening with your data on the
before
server
you
has
even
nothing to
realize
do
them.
with your privacy
Phone
display.
that learns your habits and adapts in real time.
You've said that every
Phone
time. This
that
good
takes
morning
action
screen
on
looks
your
literally the
behalf.
same every year. It's like,
This
oh, here's
is
your
the
weather, here's your
agentic
calendar.
AI phone.
It means nothing. What does this mean? What hardware
Now,
feature here
let's
enables
meet
agentic
the
AI
Galaxy
features?
S26 series.
Damn, and you thought Apple fans clap at everything they say. Like those were non sequiturs. What do you mean? Like you were just saying AI, and then you said privacy display / camera. You basically mentioned the actual hardware changes on the device, but you mentioned the AI first, as if that somehow connects to any of that, which it doesn't. Yeah, I like the back camera design, just to say something nice. And I like the switch back to aluminum for cooling. At least that means we're finally getting color match side rails again. I'm actually gonna reduce volume. The S Pen is not regaining any Bluetooth functionality here. It is the dumbed down S Pen from the S25 Ultra, unfortunately.
Thank you.
Hi.
AI is about making your life more seamless.
The
And
fuck?
like TM said, it's being integrated into our
Wait,
daily
why
lives.
cannot we talk about the
Designed to
actual
work for
device?
everyone,
Are
everywhere.
you selling us the
This is why
device
Samsung
with
introduced
AI, or are
Galaxy
you
AI
selling
2
us
years
AI
ago
with the
to bring you
device?
practical
Did you
help
forget
every
that
day
you're a hardware
when
company,
you need it
Samsung?
most, through the one device that never leaves your side. How many of you have missed
my butt
important
plug?
notifications because they got lost in a flood of alerts?
I guess that wouldn't be my
Wouldn't it
side,
be nice
though.
if you could
My
cut through
backside.
that clutter and filter out the important things? Galaxy AI can now understand notifications on your screen to help with just that. Let me show you.
I mean, these were all features that
I
Google
start
presented
each
like
morning
months
by
ago.
checking Now Brief.
Now brief.
It gives me a personalized overview of my day. Here's a look at my brief. It includes
No,
the
no,
weather,
don't show us your briefs.
schedule,
That's not a
and
kid-friendly
even my energy
way to
level.
presenting the device.
And you'll notice
Keep it
pulled
on.
this
Keep it
reservation
with the
here.
pants on.
Now here's the amazing part. I completely forgot to put this in my calendar. But Galaxy AI remembered the confirmation in my notifications and automatically reminded me.
Yeah,
When things
Google
get
presented that for
overwhelming,
the Pixel.
a gentle
I guess
reminder
this
like
is them
this
integrating
allows
those kind
me
of
to just
Gemini
get on with my
features.
day. But Galaxy AI does more than organize your life. It can also do things on your behalf, like taking calls. Let's be honest, we don't answer every call. For those
Well, I
calls
do,
you
but
can't
because
get
I
to,
get a
or the
metric
ones you
little
don't want
fuck
to
ton
get
of them.
to, Galaxy AI can give you a clear, simple summary of who called and what they wanted.
But most
This
of the
way,
time,
you
whoever
can
calls
decide
me
what
wants to
needs your
talk to
immediate
me and not to
attention
the
and what
AI.
can wait.
How would...
And the best part, it
like
all
this is like
feels
AI
effortless.
written by like
you've got
highbrow
a personal
business people
assistant.
who like get 100 also
We also wanted to make
automated
using
AI
a
calls
Galaxy
a day,
device as
and they need
easy
an
as
AI to
possible.
summarize those
The
for them.
all-new Bixby is smarter and understands you better.
Oh, you still
So
do some
navigating your
Bixby
device
stuff,
is as simple as having a chat.
huh?
If you need to change a setting or find a feature, all you have to do is ask.
I thought that was
Like,
already there.
how do I
I thought
charge
that was
another
honestly
device
one
with
of the
mine?
things you have done even better than
But we
like
didn't just make
most
Bixby
companies,
smarter
even better than
inside
Google.
your phone. We added a brand new capability that goes beyond device control.
Okay.
Now Bixby can bring you up-to-date information directly in the conversation, keeping you in your flow without having to open another app.
Yeah, sorry, I can read. I don't need that. Like, if I wanted that, I would want it from like home speakers,
all been
basically
down
saying,
that
"Oh, read
research
me the
rabbit
headlines for today." I don't
What
need my
started
phone.
off
I'll
as a
just.
quick search
It's way faster
turns
for me
into
to
multiple
scroll
open
through the
tabs,
headlines or through
comparing
Twitter.
different sites,
God
reading
forbid I enter
reviews,
that hellhole,
and jumping
but
back and forth.
yeah.
Galaxy AI already helps you summarize, translate, and read highlights aloud.
Yeah.
But now, starting with the Galaxy S26 series, the all-new Samsung browser is partnering with Perplexity. So you'll be able to research faster with Ask AI, a powerful AI tool to help you do more while browsing.
I
Ask
already
AI
am
will
doing
take
way
all
too
the
much while
research
browsing,
across
getting like
all your tabs,
randomly
even your
distracted
recent
from
history,
everything.
and combine
Like,
it
I'm
with
not
the
against
intelligence
AI.
of
I'm not an
conversational AI
anti-AI
to help
bro.
you
I'm not
answer
a
all of your
pro-AI
questions.
bro. But I'm not anti. But I think
not
this
every
is
question
like,
requires a
why
deep
is
dive.
this the first thing we are
Sometimes
talking about?
You just want to know what you're looking at. Circle to Search with Google has made searching more seamless for hundreds of millions of Galaxy users worldwide since we introduced it with Google at Unpacked 2 years ago. You can circle to look up items directly, translate text, and even identify a song playing in the background or on screen. It makes searching more contextual and immediate.
yeah, all of these
With the
features,
Galaxy
in a way,
S26
one
series,
another
we're
already
taking this a step
exist.
further. Because we know it's not just the one eye that catches your vibe, it's the whole thing. So starting today, you'll be able to circle to search multiple objects at once, so you can easily find the look. Just use Circle to Search to instantly find every piece, from tops to footwear, and everything in between. all
Jonathan,
in
member
one
for
search.
8 months.
No
Damn,
need
time
for all the
flies.
back
Saying,
and forth.
watching from the gym,
of
sending a
course,
membership
a lot of
milestone
back and
chat.
forth
Thank you,
also
and
happen
good
in
luck
chat
at the
rooms.
gym.
And when
I
this
skipped
happens,
my
we
gym
can
for
get
today, so
easily
I could,
distracted.
right after work,
we wanna
start
keep you in
streaming,
your flow.
basically.
Now Galaxy AI can assist you right inside the chat with gentle nudges, reducing steps. If you're texting with a friend and they ask for photos from last weekend, usually You have to
Yeah,
dig
this
through
is
your
the kind
album,
of stuff that
scroll
Apple
through
is going to do
hundreds of
with iOS
photos,
26.4,
find them,
0.5,
and
0.6,
then
whatever.
share.
It is the stuff that's been
But
delayed,
now,
basically, like this
Galaxy AI
awareness of what's
understands
on
the
your
context
device, of
and
your
does the work
personal
for
data
you.
and stuff like that. It's definitely
Or,
something where
if
Google
they ask if
Gemini
I'm free to catch up over
inside
some Korean
Android
barbecue
is
next
ahead of what
Again,
Apple is currently
normally
doing.
I'd
Obviously,
leave the
Apple is
chat,
going to use Google
open my
Gemini
calendar,
with their own stuff
scroll to
to
the
kind
day,
of combine this
and
all.
then come
And
back to
Riley, one of
reply.
our most long-term
But
viewers,
Now Nudge
joining,
brings my
saying
calendar
hi.
to me,
I apologize, Riley, you are
understanding the
joining
context,
live
so
in
I
the
can
middle
check
of
and
the AI
respond in
section.
seconds.
You skipped me talking about the M6
Galaxy AI
MacBook
helps
Pro
you
and the
stay in
iPhone
your
18
flow.
Pro's Dynamic Island.
And
Yeah,
this is
you're
what we
late, but
mean
it's
by
fine.
AI is infrastructure.
They didn't even talk about any hardware
It
features
moves
yet.
the
This is all
technology
software
out of
AI
your
shit.
way, so you can move through your day. But to build experiences that feel this natural, you need a foundation that is secure by design.
Samsung
To
Knox.
explain how we bring this to life, please welcome our COO, Wanjun Choi.
Their chief operating officer? I guess it's about privacy in the cloud then? Because why would you have the CEO talk about a
you.
hardware feature on the device?
Innovation has always been at the core of Galaxy. Think back to the early days of smartphones. The hardware was a breakthrough in itself. And it laid the foundation for a new era.
I mean, yeah, but the best
Then,
part was
the
that it took us only
transformation
until the iPhone
accelerated
3G to get
when
like to the App
apps
Store and
unlocked
stuff like
meaningful
that.
experiences. Today, we are at the same inflection point with AI.
Oh God.
AI today lives in moments, inside apps, features, and workflows.
Are they going to replace every
That's not
little
enough.
symbol here with AI? Are we
Mass adoption
like
will happen
allowed to keep
when
anything AI
turns
free?
the things you already do every day into something.
Yeah,
you can do
Riley, I know it's
better,
basically the same
faster,
phone, but it
and
has
with
a
less
new
friction.
chip. With that usually comes a new modem.
So how do we
It
achieve
has
that?
a new main camera sensor,
We believe
camera
requires
optic system, not the new
platform-level
sensor.
innovation.
Like,
that
yeah,
is
it doesn't have a
personal,
larger battery. It
adaptive,
doesn't have a noticeably
and agentic.
improved or changed cooling system. I
first
guess
two
the change
pillars,
from titanium
personal
side
and
rails to
adaptive,
aluminum is helping.
about
And then it has the
understanding context.
privacy display, which
Your
is
phone is your
basically a
most personal
software
device.
feature that needs to be
And it has the
implemented on a
potential
hardware level.
to help you in
But
ways
that's on top
no
of us,
other
at
device
least a
can.
better panel, like a 10-bit OLED
An
panel.
AI phone needs
And
to
those are
offer
all the
suggestions
changes,
that feel truly
which is still
personal and
more than
relevant,
they have mentioned thus far.
like how Now Brief recalls information, or Now Nudge provides suggestion at the right moment. At the foundation of this is the Personal Data Engine, or the PDE. The PDE turns the scattered data on your device into meaningful data
Yeah,
that AI can actually use.
indexing and analyzing, yeah.
But we also know, with this level of access, trust is everything. Galaxy AI is built with protection at its core.
This is like the third time they're mentioning
To deliver
Samsung Knox and
personalized experiences,
basically in another
Galaxy
way.
AI needs information. But we must ensure that only the right services get that access.
Okay.
That's why we built Keep. It maintains the digital walls between your apps.
It's a
ensuring
sandbox,
Your data is
yeah.
isolated, verified, and protected. But real security goes deeper than software.
Why is this being presented by the
Samsung Knox Vault
COO and
is
not like
physically
some
built into the
technology
and
executive?
isolated
That's
from the
weird.
rest of the system. It protects your most sensitive information, such as your passwords, your security keys, and your biometrics.
What's
So
funny
even
is
if the main
Samsung keeps
software is
mentioning
attacked,
Samsung Knox every
vault
year,
remains
and I
locked.
never see like Samsung like actually providing
Galaxy AI
any
features
data
that
that
use
is
the
any more
cloud,
secure than
rule
like
is
a
simple.
number of Android devices just
Your data
using
is
the latest
processed
software
to
and the
deliver an
latest
answer
hardware.
and then deleted. And because protection is most effective when you are in control, we put transparency and choice in your hands.
Okay, okay.
This brings us to the third pillar, agentic. turning
Is there
understanding
even like
into action.
a noun for agentic?
about how
Like
we
I guess
interact with our
agent,
devices
but
today.
like
We have
agenticism would be
incredible
that?
apps for everything we do. But getting things done often requires a lot of manual steps.
Yeah, this is why app intents are
vision
taking a while.
is to
Like
simplify
Siri-controlled app
and to
intents are
remove
taking
the
quite
barriers
a while
between
for Apple
intent
to
and
implement.
action. So you can simply say what you want, and AI will understand your intent.
But
and
it
help
still
you
needs
get
all
things
that
done.
convoluted things in the middle.
To do
Otherwise,
this,
it's just
we need to offer the most powerful agents available.
it's going to be Gemini and Perplexity.
We
right?
believe in working with the best agents available, building them onto our secure foundation, so you can choose the AI that best fits your life.
But like, come on, give me
We
something to work
closely
with.
Google to make Gemini the core of this agentic experience, providing seamless actions across apps. And we are also working together to expand these actions to more services and partners. But to make this happen, we must evolve from a traditional operating system to an intelligent operating system,
Oh my God.
where AI is integrated into every layer. And we are working closely with Android to make this a reality.
I mean, yeah, Google is
To tell
doing
you
most
more
of the
about
heavy lifting
how we are
here.
building this AI OS together.
Jonathan,
welcome
you're
Samir,
saying
President
boring.
of the Android
No,
ecosystem.
sorry, you're saying boring. You didn't actually give us more O's. You just gave us a lot of I's.
Thank you for coming.
Right now, I do agree, which is like, I thought this event would be, I said it would be way shorter than an hour because basically I expected it to be like...
Thanks, Wonjun. Hi, everyone.
I expected it to be,
Samsung
oh,
and
here's
Google
the
have been
Galaxy
partners
phone,
for
here are the
over a
Galaxy
decade,
Buds,
always
here are
pushing
some
the
new
boundaries of
AI
what's
features
possible
that are
with
baked
technology.
into the devices. I
Today,
didn't
as
expect them to
Wonjun
reiterate all
we're
of
looking
their
towards
like
the next
AI
chapter of
vision from the
Android.
ground up.
and fundamentally evolving the platform.
Yeah,
This means moving
our
from an operating system
Esters,
to
I'm sorry
an
if I'm
intelligent
mispronouncing that. Like, they
platform
literally
that
haven't
truly
said
understands
anything
and
about the
works for you.
Galaxy yet. They
We've got
could
some
have
amazing
said,
things in the
here's
next
the
release of
Galaxy
Android, and I'm
S26
excited to share more about that in
powered
the
by
coming
the
months.
Snapdragon 8 Gen
didn't
5,
wanna make you
which
wait
has so
for
much
everything.
and so much faster AI processing,
Galaxy
right?
S26
Here is a
series,
new
we're
cooling
excited to
system
share
on
an
top of
early
it.
preview of
That way,
Gemini's
your
next
AI
evolution
works as fast
that
as
lets
you
you get
want
more
for as
done
long
across
as you
your phone.
want.
Inspired
Like here
by
is
the
a new
breakthroughs we've
AI
seen with
engine,
Circle the
like
Search.
a neural engine, an NPU,
As Rachel
whatever.
mentioned,
But instead,
Circle
we're
the
getting.
Search has
This is like, I
completely
swear,
changed how
guys, this
people
is like the
interact with nearly
25th
600
presentation
million
I'm
Android
seeing
devices.
that has Circle
And
to
now,
Search in it.
it brings the
It's
new
been on
ability to search
Pixels for
multiple
years, and
objects
it
at
gets
once.
reiterated
Whether
every
you're
year on
inspired by a
Google
celebrity's
stage.
outfit
Now we have to see
or
that in
creator style
Samsung.
on your feed.
AM987
It's so
saying
easy to
AI,
find a
AI,
similar
AI
look
everywhere.
yourself.
What the F is this?
With a
I
simple
want to see
gesture,
S26
you can
Ultra. I'm
break down
switching
the
from
whole
15
look.
Pro Max to S26
And
Ultra.
with a few
Bro,
taps,
like
you can
unless
try
you
something
need
on and
something
check
for
out.
Android here, look, and
So
I'm totally
we got to
honest
thinking,
here. Here
how
on
can
this
we use
channel,
these
and
kinds
I
of
hope
AI
everybody who
capabilities
watches
to
this,
help you
who's a
accomplish
long-term
even more on
supporter,
your
can
phone?
confirm. We do
industry
not
calls
tell
it
you to
agentic
not buy
AI.
Samsung or
I
not
just call
buy
it
this Android
getting
device
stuff
or
done.
not buy Windows or whatever.
Let me share an example.
But I honestly think the
finally
iPhone
leaving the
17 Pro
office,
Max
keys in
is
hand,
going to be
when the family group chat
significantly
starts
better
exploding.
than this device.
It's pizza night.
These
Suddenly,
companies
I'm
need to
being
realize
flooded
that
with different
consumers don't
texts.
give a crap
Pepperoni
about AI.
here,
Consumers
no
give a
onions
crap
there.
about
Somebody
good
wants a
features,
specific
and
drink.
those features
And now
can be
my son
based on
apparently
AI,
needs garlic
RSers,
knots.
or RSE
Usually,
esters,
that's my
whatever.
cue to sit in the parking
But
lot
what
for
they
10
don't
minutes
care about
toggling
is
between
AI
different
for
apps,
the sake
manually to
of
build this
AI,
complex
right?
orbit.
Like they're saying,
But
oh,
now,
we have to switch
I
from
can
a
simply ask
traditional
Gemini to handle
OS
it.
to an intelligent one.
I asked Gemini to
People
look at the
don't
chat
give
thread,
a fuck about you
figure out what
talking
to
about
order,
app
and make it
intents,
happen
APIs,
on one of my favorite delivery apps.
deep integration
And
with Google.
while I'm
Like,
headed to the car
these are
for my
all features,
commute,
yes. Like,
Gemini
oh,
is hard at
analyze
work.
your chat, remember your
Because
stuff.
it's happening in the
I can even
background,
see
my phone is still
visually,
mine to
like
use.
without even
I
hearing
can
the
take a
commentary
call
because
or
I'm talking
catch up
over
on a
it.
podcast
But
while
all of
Gemini
it has
navigates
been
the app
already
for me.
talked about by Google itself.
It's built with
all
user
of this
transparency
honestly
and
has been
control.
promised
So
by
if
Samsung
I
for
wanna
like the
stay in the
last
loop,
2
I
years,
can
from like
watch
the
Gemini
Galaxy
work in
S24
real
Ultra
time,
on.
following
Yet
along with
every
every
year
step it
they're
takes.
presenting these features
And
anew.
once my card is ready, I'll
Kind
get
of
an alert
admitting
from
that those
Gemini to
features
take
were
another look.
never actually
And if
feature
I'm happy
ready in
with
the
the order,
prior years that they've
press
presented
submit,
them.
and it's done. So how does this work? Android is able to launch the app you need in a virtual window. And then Gemini 3 uses its reasoning and multimodal
We just got Gemini
capabilities to make a plan
3.1. I
and
hope
navigate
it's
the
based
app
on
to
this
get the
because it
task
seems
done.
to be noticeably
Just like
better,
you
but
would.
whatever.
Turning your intention into action. Now, getting this right is pretty important. So we're excited to make this early
And
preview
like,
available
look,
on the
because they
S26
haven't
to get
actually
feedback
talked
from all
about
of
the
you
device,
and our
all
developer
they have
community.
they can show us
This
every
capability will
time
initially
is
be
this
available on a limited set of
re-rendered,
apps
like
with
here
more to
is
come.
like the
You
outline
can
of the
get your
Galaxy
groceries,
S26
book a
Ultra with the
ride,
new
or
camera
order a
island
meal
and
on
whatever,
apps like DoorDash
right?
and Grubhub.
At no point they cannot
Give it a
even
try
show us the
and tell
processor
us what
because
you
they
think.
haven't talked about it yet. They cannot
In
show us the
partnership with
inside of the
Samsung,
device
we're
because
defining
it's
a new era of mobile intelligence.
look, they
Android
zoomed
is
into the
always where you
camera,
see the future
right?
first.
But they are not
Thank
talking
you for
about
having
the
me this
camera.
morning.
It's basically
Back to you,
just
Wanji.
visual gobbledygook. It's completely incoherent. It's basically like Musk talking about how self-driving is coming out next year. Yeah, it's not quite as bad because Musk has been doing it for like almost 10 years now.
We are
I believe the
incredibly
first
excited
promise
about
of
the future of
FSD
mobile
coming
AI.
next year was 2020,
And how the
was
ecosystem of
2016 to
devices
2017 or
that knows you
2017 to
best
2018.
will transform
But
into
it's
the
almost
companion
as bad. I
that
agree.
helps you most. To tell you about the engine that will drive this, please welcome back Rachel.
Okay, an engine. I assume you are going to talk now about the Snapdragon 885 and the Exynos 2600. Especially the latter is built on your own 2-nanometer GAAFET
Thank you.
processing,
The
your own
seamless
technologies.
intelligence that Wanjun and Samir just described demands a powerful foundation. So we worked closely with industry-leading partners
Okay,
to
AM987,
customize
I would
APs
like
for
you
the
to
Galaxy
subscribe.
S26
Keep us
series.
informed if you actually think of switching.
On the Galaxy S26 Ultra,
Obviously, you
a
will make that
39%
decision
more
once you
powerful
actually see
NPU
the device.
enables faster
But in
on-device
real
AI.
world, I assume with
From
reviews.
generative
But I would
features
love to
to
hear from a
real-time
switcher
context
who had an
understanding.
iPhone 15 Pro
You'll
Max,
see
switched to an
results
S26
quicker,
Ultra.
right
What
when
your
you need
experience
them.
is. This is an absolutely
This level of
like
responsiveness
cross-platform
holds
friendly
even
thing.
when you're
Okay, so we got our
multitasking.
first spec of the device. Like what was it?
A
37% faster NPU,
keeps
19%
on-device
faster
AI
CPU.
feeling
So
instant,
these are just
while
the
your
specs
apps
of the
launch
Snapdragon
quickly.
8 Gen 5.
So
These are
even when you move
these are
between
numbers that I
multiple
basically
apps or
remember
browser
from every
tabs,
other presentation.
you can pick
yeah.
up where you left off seamlessly.
Like Xiaomi has used
for the
basically
gamers,
the same numbers.
The
Qualcomm
Galaxy
obviously.
S26 Ultra provides our most powerful gaming experience yet.
I mean, it better be
With
because
Snapdragon
Apple has done a
8
much
Elite
better
Gen 5
jump.
for Galaxy.
Sorry, Snapdragon 8 Elite 5
24%
or whatever.
improved
I don't know why I
handles
started
heavy
calling
visuals
it the Gen
effortlessly.
5.
And through Vulkan
Wait, that's a
optimization,
super small
everything
GPU
you see
uplift.
sees fluid and sharp. We're continuing to expand the list of Vulkan-optimized titles to keep bringing this level of performance to even more games.
Okay, I mean, you kind of have to because
With the 17%
what are you gonna?
boost in ray tracing performance?
That's wait,
you'll notice
what?
a significant
Wait,
difference
there's a ray
in visually
tracing
demanding
IPC
moments,
downgrade.
like when the light
You
hits
have
the water
you have
and how
more
the shadows
raster
move with you.
uplift than you have ray tracing
This
uplift.
is
Well, yeah, we know
console-level
that the
performance in your
Snapdragon 8
pocket.
Elite Gen 5 is like
The Galaxy
half as fast as
S26
the
Ultra also
A19
holds
Pro
up
when it
during
comes to ray
heavy-spec
tracing.
games, thanks
But
to advanced
damn,
thermal management.
that's like those are not numbers. You don't show
Introducing
first
our
the raster
largest
numbers
vapor
and
chamber
then
ever.
the.
We're now on our
and then
sixth
the
iteration,
RT
which
numbers.
provides
Okay,
improved
largest vapor
performance
chamber
with the
together with an
redesigned internal
aluminum
structure.
frame, that would be good. Why don't you
Combined
give
with
us
the
a larger
newly added
battery
side
then?
tin, the device manages heat
Because
more
if
efficiently.
your chip can now
And
consume
that
more power
efficiency
thanks to a larger vapor
extends to the
chamber.
battery. We've optimized power consumption to give you all-day battery life.
Yeah, we've
with
been
up to
saying that for
31
10
hours of
years
video
now
playback.
that smartphones last all
Then,
day.
when you do need a quick boost to keep it going, Galaxy S26 Ultra delivers the fastest charging speeds we've ever offered.
Are you going to mention the
reaching up to
numbers? Are you going to mention that it's
75%
60
in
watts
as little
and
as 30
5,000 milliampere hours?
So you can power up quicker
Actually,
and stay unplugged for
4,800
longer.
something is
And
the
when you're
typical
doing more for
number,
longer,
and the advertised
whether
number
it's
is
gaming,
5,000.
streaming, or scrolling.
So it actually, in real
performance
capacity,
should
it's
pay off where
probably
you
is more
experience it the
similar to
most.
the European
display.
iPhone 17 Pro Max, which is a little
Display
over
innovation
4800,
has
but it's actually
always
going
been
to
central
have
to the Galaxy
less
experience.
capacity than the US
On the Galaxy
17
S26
Pro Max,
series,
which is
our
5000
processor
and I believe
advances
88
fundamentals
milliampere hours.
beyond brightness and smoothness for a higher fidelity image.
Up to
Our
2600 nits. That's the
NDNIE
same
powers
number as
enhanced
before.
image processing, so colors appear more subtle and natural with smoother gradients.
Okay.
The skies are more vibrant, and the shadows are
Wait,
more
is that
deep.
now a camera or a display feature?
Combined with the AI-enhanced Pro Scaler, you get improved image scaling, so photos and videos appear richer and clearer at a glance.
Okay.
But
I
a
guess
great
some
display
older
has to
content
go
would definitely
beyond
need
clarity.
that, but images are usually higher
We wanted to
resolution than
add
the actual
a whole
display.
new capability, one that redefines what display innovation can look like.
That's the privacy mode.
Let's
yeah.
take a look.
I mean, it doesn't redefine display
Brighter.
innovation.
More interactive, wider, flexible.
Oh
And
no!
smoother
They've
screens.
actually shown the first Galaxy Fold.
For
you know,
years,
the one
we've
that
pushed
broke
display
when you
innovation
just
forward.
looked at it.
But in our pursuit to provide the best viewing experience,
Some rumors point that some notable Chinese flagships will get
inevitably
this
made it
privacy
clearly
display as
visible
well.
to everyone.
Now, it's not apparently happening on the Ultra, like Vivo
Privacy
Ultra,
films can be a
Xiaomi
temporary
17 Ultra,
solution.
but it's
But there are
apparently going to be
trade-offs.
happening with, like, I
Dimmer
guess at that
screens.
time it would be like the Xiaomi 18.
inconveniences when sharing. Wouldn't it be great if you can control your display based on when you want to share versus what
I
you
would
want
love
to
to
keep
know
private?
if this has any battery life impact. From the videos I've seen, it does have a little bit of an
Introducing
impact
the
even
world's
for your
first
own
privacy
personal viewing
display
angles.
on mobile.
Now, I'm not being angry because this is optional. Obviously, you can turn it off.
Traditionally, displays are designed to be viewed from the widest angles possible.
Yeah. But I'm also
standard
not,
pixels spread
guys,
light
I'm not
widely to
cheating on
meet
my
your eyes
girlfriend.
from
Not
every
that I
angle.
have a girlfriend right now.
But a privacy display
with
requires
messages in the
narrowing the
public.
light to
I'm
only
not
reach
watching
you.
or reading porn on
So
the
we
subway.
engineered the black
Like,
matrix.
I have very little problems.
black matrix
people
narrows
seeing
the
what's
path
on
of
my
the light
phone.
emitted
I'm
from
not,
each
again, I'm not
pixel.
actually downplaying this.
Precisely
it's nice
controlling
that we
the
have
light
this,
visible
but
to you.
I hope it doesn't actually negatively
This new
impact
architecture
some of
makes
the
up
good
the
stuff that
narrow
they've done,
pixel,
like the low
which works
reflectivity
alongside a
and,
newly widened standard pixel engineered to
well, I
deliver
cannot even say
sufficient light
brightness
in every
because
direction.
Samsung has been lagging on that spec for years.
When
now.
privacy display is on, narrow pixels work as the primary light source. So your screen is visible
Guys, we
for
have a
your
decent
eyes
amount of
only.
viewers here. Please
When
leave a like.
privacy
It
mode
helps
is off,
tremendously. It
all
helps
the
us
pixels
attract
work
new
in
viewers.
tandem.
Please,
The
if
screen
you're
is
enjoying
visible
this and
from
you
every
want to see
angle.
more in the future, subscribe to the channel.
The best part?
Let me know what you think
The
of the
privacy display
presentation
is
of my
customizable.
coverage of it in the live
Set it to
chat.
activate
of
for
course, you can
specific
support me
apps.
directly via super chat or super sticker financially, or you can.
or for notifications that may pop up when you least expect
Okay,
them.
it's like, is that like the best example they could come up with that doesn't
Galaxy
involve like
S26
cheating
Ultra
or
keeps
something like that?
unexpected notifications
Like,
automatically hidden for those
birthday
moments.
surprises, that's what you will need private.
The power
because
to
your
control
girlfriend
what
is
you share
totally
with
going
shoulder
to be
surfers is
super
in
stoked
your
that you have
hands.
privacy mode on. You
The
can
privacy
tell her,
display sets a
"Honey,
new
I'm
standard in
planning a
display innovation."
surprise." RS Esters, I have loved Samsung since the S7, but between the lack of meaningful upgrades the past few years and removal of features like the Bluetooth S Pen, I'm highly disappointed. I agree. I actually used to dual wield when I, back in the day, had an iPhone XS Max. I also had the Galaxy S9, which
next
actually,
level
if you
display
remember,
innovation.
was the first notable
Privacy
device with a
built into
variable
the
aperture.
display
I believe
that
it
gives
could
you the
switch between an
choice to shape your mobile experience.
f1.5 aperture to an
And no solution
f2.4
should be
for
one
different
size
lighting
fits all.
conditions and whether you
For your
wanted a
most
more
sensitive
pronounced
moments, you can
bokeh
toggle
depth of
on
field and
maximum
stuff like
privacy
that.
protection. The maximum privacy protection intensifies the privacy effect
Oh
by
yeah,
adjusting
yeah.
the
I
pixel
guess
contrast,
I agree.
bringing down
I'm
the
not
bright
sure
areas
if it's going to
and lifting
limit
the
the
darker
total
ones,
light
so your
output,
screen looks far
but it
less readable
definitely
from
should
the
help,
side.
like not have the light bleed
don't
out
just
too
take our
much,
word for it.
as to not blind
For
your
a very
girlfriend while
first
in bed.
hands-on,
Thank you.
please
That's why I
welcome
like
tech
comments, by the way,
creator,
guys.
Miles
I'm
About
not
Tech.
perfect. I cannot
Miles?
think of every contingency. So if you provide me with your feedback where I might be wrong, or at least I might not have a full picture,
Thanks, Rachel.
that helps a lot
hey,
here.
everyone. I'm Miles, and I run Miles Above Tech.
Oh my
I
God,
review
we
all
have tech
types of
influencers.
online, and today I'm super
It's
excited
always
to talk
cringe
about
when
the privacy
Apple does
display
that, but I feel
on the
like they
Galaxy
always do
S26
that
Ultra.
in the best way.
It's
They just
seriously
do
one
it
of the
very
coolest
quickly
features
and
I've
more
seen on a
fun,
phone
like
in
they have like
years.
them
And here's
snappy
Ryan to help me show you
emojis
how
or
it
something
works.
like that.
Right now, I have the privacy display on.
Why did we
You can
need a
see my
tech
screen
influencer
clearly,
to show us
but you
this?
can't
Could
see
we
it from
not
the
have
sides.
like a tech executive or an engineer? God forbid we actually maybe give credit to the main display engineer at Samsung for this. But yeah, it works. I'm not obviously
But if
against
I
this.
want, I could just go ahead and turn it off like this.
Yeah, it's cool. Definitely the most
Thank you,
standout
Riley.
thing, though I'm personally probably
This
more
way, I can
interested
keep
in the
whatever's on
wider
my screen
aperture of
private,
the camera.
but also share my screen with my friends. It's like a privacy film I can turn off and on whenever I want. It's a real game changer. And because it's built into the display, it can even work for smaller elements on the screen.
Now, they did mention
having it
those
turn off for
narrow
specific
pixels,
notifications
right?
or
Basically,
areas
the
of the screen.
aperture from which
And
those
then add the
pixels
new
emit
chipset.
light.
It really just
Will that
makes me
have
super
an
excited to
impact on
review
overall
the camera on the
viewing
Galaxy
angles
S26
and
Ultra as well.
brightness, at
been
least
reviewing
brightness
Galaxy
relative
cameras
to
for
the amount of
years,
energy
over the
being
course of their
put in?
flagship updates.
That would be
So if
something
you've
that I
seen
would
my
love to
TikTok
be tested.
or
Now, they
YouTube,
are using
you
a
know
better
how impressive
panel
they are,
here,
especially
so it
with
should be
insane
more
zoom
efficient in
and night
general, so
photography.
that's probably
And I'm
enough
so
to
stoked for the next
offset
one.
that.
The cameras
But I
are
guess
getting
that
out even
explains
better
why we
and
aren't
smarter
actually
with
getting a
AI.
notable brightness,
But for more
at
on
least not
this,
an
here's
advertised
Mason.
brightness increase. It also shouldn't really interfere with the great anti-reflective coating that they have. That is probably my favorite Samsung innovation of the last like 5 years. Obviously starting, I believe, with the Galaxy S24 Ultra. Not that there have
you,
been too
Miles.
many.
Galaxy cameras are built around the philosophy that photos and videos should help you connect more naturally with the emotions of your moments. We
As
believe that
opposed to
everything you
every
capture
other
becomes life's
smartphone
language.
maker who wants what?
That's
your
why
cameras
Galaxy
to
cameras
not
are built
connect
to
to you
capture
emotionally?
effortlessly, edit intelligently,
Yeah,
and share
yeah,
seamlessly.
that's what I mean.
End to end.
Like if it reduces
Every shot on the Galaxy
because it doesn't
S26 series
produce
is
less
social
light,
media ready.
right? Thanks
to our
results
advanced
in
Pro
less
Visual
light
Engine
being
and Galaxy
outputted
AI.
with the aperture, right?
The front
so
camera,
in my opinion, that
now
should be
powered by an
negative
AI
for the
image
battery
signal processor,
because we
brings out
produce
more of the finer details,
energy to send in
helping you capture
the
the
same
soft
amount of
strands
light
of
as
hair
before,
and
or
natural skin
with the same
tones,
amount of
so
energy
your
we send
selfies
less
look
light.
true
But
to
I'm not
life.
sure. I'm not an engineer on
And the
this,
wider
and I'm not
aperture in the
exactly
rear
sure
camera
what they're
channels
doing this.
significantly
Yeah, this
more
is the
light to the
feature I'm most
sensor.
excited about.
You'll see sharper
Oh,
detail and clearer,
they're doing an
more vibrant
f2.9
images,
aperture
whether
on
you're
the
shooting
zoom
something
camera?
far away
That's
or up close.
That's really bad.
Sometimes, when
Like
capturing
I
beautiful
already am not a
moments, the
fan of
sunlight
Apple's
overpowers the shot.
f2.8, but Apple
When
has a
this
way
happens,
better image
the Galaxy
stabilizer.
S26 series instantly balances it out for you, softening those shadows and adding subtle virtual light, like having a
I
reflector
thought for a moment
right
they were
there
doing
with
like
you.
photographic styles.
Now, where the Galaxy S26 series
AM987
shines is
saying
when the
that
sun
privacy screen
goes
will
down.
be so useful. Okay,
introduced
hey, that's
nighttography
great.
video,
If that's something
so
you
can
imagine
hold
yourself
onto
using
that
a lot,
atmosphere even in low light.
again,
The advanced
join
AP
the
understands
join
the unique
the
characteristics
channel,
of
join
each
potentially
camera
my
sensor.
Discord. You'll find the link
So
to that
grain
in
is
the
reduced
description.
even more effectively.
Why did you
Faces and
simulate
details
the
stay
image?
sharp,
Just use the
while
last
the
gen and
background
compare it
looks
directly.
cleaner and more defined.
Oh God.
Now, let's take a look at how the Galaxy S26 series brings those unforgettable nights to life.
Okay, yeah, I guess that's something Apple does too. Like, but I like
Hi,
it when
my
Apple
name is
partners
Monique
with
Yvonne.
like
I'm a
real
film director,
directors
and I
stuff
primarily
like that.
showcase my work through social media.
Yeah, I mean.
I usually film with a cinema camera, so this is my first time creating a project using a phone. And Soul at Night is the perfect symbol of that vibrant feeling I was looking for. So that led me to putting the
Poor thing
nightography
is
video to
reading
the test.
very, very clearly off
Night
of
scenes
a
normally
prompter.
require a ton of lighting, but I was super impressed by the Galaxy
Which is okay.
S26
People
Ultra
tend to
picking
get
up clean
nervous.
and beautiful
Like,
shots
I'm
in
obviously an
extremely dark
asshole who can
environments
talk
without
for
any grain.
hours, and I can even memorize scripts extremely
This concept
quickly.
required a ton of facial
But then again,
expressions
these
and
people are
emotions,
way more
and the camera
famous and
picked it up
successful
even
than
in
I
the
am,
darkest
so
light.
why am I talking?
This is the first
Look at
time
this
I've
video
ever
we
shot a
in the
short
studio
film
and
on a
edited film
phone,
grain, then
and it did
removed to
not
show
feel
off
like a
our low
setback
light.
at all to me.
That
This phone genuinely feels like
film
having
grain
cinema
was-
camera
it's
in your hand.
Like that
I'm so
grain
excited to
didn't
show
even
a
look
sneak
like
peek of my film, and I
traditional
hope you all enjoy.
pixelated. You're correct.
I love the shots.
It looked more like old-style film grain, which is not how cameras look in low light. If anything, smartphones tend to digitally just soften the image a lot to make sure that you don't have a ton of aliasing. They don't have then a lot of detail, but damn, like, yeah, everything about that was fake. And all of this is clearly shot with controlled light, which is fine, but they are specifically advertising nightography. Or did they, was they specifically like night videography?
Thank you, Monique. I can't wait to see the final film. But lighting is only half the challenge.
Oh, I thought he was going to
The
say
other-
half the battle, damn.
Motion.
Oh,
Life doesn't
Samsung,
stand still.
Marquez
You
has
want
his
a
video
camera that
out
can capture the action
40
without
minutes
the
ago,
shake.
so he literally posted
On the
it
Galaxy
the
S26
very second
series,
this event
super
started.
steady with horizontal lock,
I'm gonna
helps
go
you
to
capture what
Discord.
would
I
otherwise
just want
fly
to
by
share the
in steady footage, automatically maintaining a level horizon, so you don't have to constantly watch the frame. That's what makes Galaxy S26 series great for everyone. And for those creators who want a more professional workflow, Galaxy S26 Ultra unlocks advanced video recording with the APV codec, now available for the first time ever.
Okay, that's a little bit of a
APV
response to
codec
Apple's
supports
ProRes.
high bit rates and
That
near
should
lossless
help.
quality.
Now, 8K
So
is
you can
useless,
record
but I
everything
would
in up
like
to
to know
8K
what it does
while
for very
retaining
high
more
bitrate
detail
4K.
through rounds
Guys,
of
I've
editing.
posted the link to our Discord.
also capture
Maybe you'll
directly to
find some
external
fun in
storage
joining
as
there,
you film.
just talking and enjoying it.
Shooting with Galaxy is like carrying a pocket-sized pro-grade
Every
camera.
time Apple shows stuff
In
like
fact,
this, people
we're
criticize Apple
filming
saying, "Oh,
and
that's
live
not
streaming
the
this
real way
entire
people do."
show using the Galaxy S26 Ultra.
Oh, like Apple has done for the last couple of years. Yay! Yeah. It's good. It's good. I
With
think
log
that the
video,
wider aperture is
capture is
actually
just
going to
the
be a big
beginning.
help. But I'm not
Built-in
sold on
LUT
the zoom
presets
or
let
the
you
ultra
apply
wide.
a cinematic
I'm actually
grade
going
from
to
your
check
device,
the tech specs
so you can create
for the
your style right
S25
away.
Ultra.
Then,
I
you want
thought it
deeper
had an
control,
f2.8
you can bring that
aperture.
footage into editing tools like DaVinci
Like
Resolve
f2.9
or
would
LumaFusion.
actually be a downgrade, especially if they
We
don't
believe
give
the
us like.
intelligence
Why do I
inside
need?
the camera should make every part of your day easier.
Oh my God! Every website is
That
so
means an
afraid of
end-to-end
AI that I now need to
experience,
verify
from
that
snapping to editing,
for Google.
sharing,
That's insane.
even when you're capturing information. Galaxy AI understands when you're trying to scan and helps you create a clean
Oh no!
copy.
It was an f3.4
It automatically
aperture.
smooths
Oh,
wrinkles
that
and
explains why it's so
folded
trash
corners
at low
and
light.
even
No, then
removes
it's
your
actually
finger.
better. I apologize. This is
even
one hard
easily
spec I
combine the
got
scans
wrong.
into
I don't know
one
why I
PDF.
thought that their
just point,
camera had actually a wider
capture,
aperture than
and go.
Apple's.
Galaxy AI takes care of the rest without having to download any separate apps. Galaxy AI can also help unlock your creative potential. We know you love using AI Eraser to remove distractions and tidy up your shots, but Photo Assist takes that capability a step further. It doesn't just let you remove what
they did
was
not
there.
increase the telephoto range.
It helps you add what
At least
should
they
have
still
been
said 5x, right?
Like when you've
I think
captured an
5x for
almost
Samsung
perfect
is
photo,
111
just missing that
millimeters
one
or
thing
something
that
like
would tie
that.
everything
Apple's 4x
together.
is 110.
Like your
Apple's
pet.
5x previously was
You can
120.
simply merge them from another
so
shot.
I don't think it
Just
is.
describe how you
I
want to
assume
combine
they
the
would have
photos
mentioned it more
and watch
directly if
Galaxy
that was
AI
the
complete the
there
moment.
was actually a change like that.
Easy, intuitive, and all done on your Galaxy
I'm
S26
sorry, I'll actually
series.
have to go back for a second. Oh, I cannot. Okay, good.
Galaxy AI also makes prompt-based editing practical for everyday needs. Maybe you have a photo with a great smile, and you want an outfit that fits the mood better. You can tell Galaxy AI what you want to adjust, and just like that, you can generate a whole new wardrobe.
I don't give a fuck. I so don't give a fuck about these
Say your
features.
friend took a bite before you got a shot of the dessert.
That's
Galaxy
part of
AI
life.
can restore the missing piece.
Oh no!
So you can have
God,
your
I
cake
hate
and eat it
this.
too.
Like, it takes all the naturality. It's like, oh God,
But
no.
this isn't just about quick fixes. It's also about having fun. Galaxy AI lets you lean into your creative side by adding a completely unexpected twist.
Yeah, I mean, I can do all of
Because
that.
all this is part of the Galaxy AI experience,
Like, I have
you can edit
perplexity.
straight from your phone without downloading an app.
Oh wow!
And for transparency,
Because apps are such
we're
a
tagging
big
all
hurdle.
AI-generated content.
Max saying
so
my
you
super
always
chat never
know what's
arrived.
been
Haha.
enhanced.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I
same
did get
goes for when you want to
your
completely
membership
transform an image.
milestone message
I'm
that
sure
said your
you've
super
seen
chat
those
never
animation
arrived. But
photos
thank you.
generated by AI.
I'll guess
Now,
I'll check in the
you can
settings if
produce
any
that
money
kind of
arrived
work
from you
easily
later
with
on. But thank
Galaxy
you
AI.
regardless. However much it was,
Pick an option
it
that
means
speaks
a lot.
to you. Watercolor painting, a retro anime, or even a 3D tune, and your photo transforms on the spot.
You guys see, by the way, the disrespect
look
to the actual
gallery-worthy?
camera hardware, right? We could have
And when
talked about
inspiration
actual
strikes,
like
you
low
can
light
open
performance,
Creative
actual
Studio
like
and explore new ways to
year-on-year
work with your
changes versus the last
Like
gen, or
generating
even versus the
stickers.
iPhone in a
One,
way.
or
But
a
it
whole
all
collection
became about
to
AI
drop
in
into
the
your
end,
socials
right?
or blog post.
Which I'm not. Again,
And it
I'm
can
not
even
a complete
generate one-of-a-kind
anti-AI guy, but
wallpapers.
it's way too much,
So
and
every
it's
unlock
very clearly
feels
not.
personal.
It's what should be the focus here. The focus
With the
should be the
Galaxy
hardware.
S26 series, AI turns editing into something effortless, fun, and instantly share-worthy. The Galaxy S26 Ultra
Oh, I
is
see.
powered by our
Max's message
custom AP,
disappeared. Glad that I
delivering
caught
robust
it.
performance.
It's weird, so maybe
industry-leading
that's why.
pro-grade
Okay, but
camera
I'll
with
Max,
the
I'll
world's
check on your
first
messages
privacy display
afterwards.
on a mobile
Whatever.
device.
Maybe my account.
And across
Okay, sorry. I'll need that. Wait, did they not mention the price
the
here?
Galaxy S26 series, Galaxy AI shows up in the moments that matter, bringing powerful photo editing tools and meaningful everyday help into the flow of your life. The Galaxy
Okay, so
S26
there are absolutely
Ultra
no
comes
camera
in 4
changes on
colors,
the
starting
base
at
versions.
$1,299.
Okay.
And the S26 and S26 Plus will be available starting at $899.
Wait, is that a
and
price increase?
$1,099 respectively.
Is that a price increase of
They will
100?
all be available starting March 11th, with pre-orders beginning today. And you'll be able to choose all 3 models in 2 additional colors, only available on Samsung.com.
These are like the worst exclusive website colors that
Galaxy
they've done.
AI ensures your ecosystem works together effortlessly. But true intelligence shouldn't just make your life easier. It should make it feel more alive.
Ah, yes.
It should flow seamlessly from
It's
the
alive.
screen to the world around you. And nothing transforms a moment like immersive, full-spectrum sound.
Okay.
Introducing the Galaxy Buds 4 series.
Oh, damn. I thought they would actually advertise some great speaker improvement. Oh, Galaxy Buds 4 series. So I guess it's a base model and a pro model. Jesus, it looks more... It now has even the same indentation as the AirPods. Oh, damn. I guess it's going to be exactly an hour long. They're going to talk for like 8 minutes about this. We're going to have a wrap up in 2 minutes. I hate plastic that's brushed to then look like metal. It never looks like that in the real
love the
world.
new
Always
look.
looks like that only in like
Galaxy
presenter
Buds 4
materials.
series features an iconic metal premium blade design.
Oh, actual metal.
And
Wait,
this is more than a design refresh.
Or is that metal
This
just...
is an audio experience that delivers
Is
a
that metal
full range
just
sound.
stuck on top of
The
it?
bass feels controlled.
What a waste and device of Persevan. Yeah, like, it's...
Every instrument stays clear and distinct. The rhythm locks in with tonal balance. This is how sound truly comes to life.
Show
And
us
this
to
is the
me
kind of
it from the other
experience we're
side.
bringing
Did you
to the
literally
Galaxy
just
Buds 4
glued
series.
some metal
High
on the
fidelity,
outside?
full range tuning that's accurate to the original recording.
Because the rest looks plastic, which is
high-resolution
fine. I don't
playback,
mind
detail,
plastic and
texture,
buds
and
because it
dynamics
helps
come
them
through
be more
exactly as
lightweight and
intended.
reduces signal interference.
To deliver that level of fidelity, on Galaxy Buds 4 Pro, we've upgraded the two-way
Yeah,
speaker
it's just
system to a
metal
new,
on top
wider
of
woofer.
plastic. It's just...
Now, bigger woofer usually mean better sound, but space in an earbud is limited. So we reworked the design to create more room where it matters. We've expanded the vibration area by almost 20%.
Okay, whatever. It's obviously not going to be how they
The
sound in
result
real world,
is
but...
deeper, richer, low frequencies from the woofer paired with refined, detailed highs from the tweeter.
Again, I'm always glad to see competition.
This is
I'm not
further
angry.
enabled
It's
by
just
a dual
I'm
amplifier
not angry about
architecture.
the individual
Each
devices. I don't
amplifier
like the price
independently
of the
powers
Ultra,
the
but
wider woofer
then I
and
also
the
don't
tweeter
think.
tuned for
And I
precise performance
hate the
across
price
the
of like
respective
the
ranges.
Plus model. That's just weird. Just as I thought the iPhone Air was overpriced, and I think the market told Apple what they thought about it at $1,000. I'm
when
not.
you pair that
I don't
with
think that the market will
ultra-high-quality
like. I'm
audio,
not
the
sure if
sound
it's
comes
more
to life
expensive.
even more.
But it
Samsung's
seems like
seamless
it's more
codec
expensive.
optimizes data transmission, so your music
Like,
stays
if I go
clear
to-
and smooth, free from glitches
Like
or
when I look at
dropouts.
MSRPs.
But great audio isn't just what you hear, it's also how you sound. We've all had to take calls in noisy places like a busy
S25
street.
plus
With an advanced deep
MSRP.
neural network that learns noise patterns, the Galaxy Buds 4 series can reduce a wide range of background noise more consistently.
Yeah, it started
with
at
super wideband, it
$9.99. At least
expands
that's
voice
what
bandwidth,
Galaxy,
so your
what's
voice comes through
Google
clearer and more
AI
natural.
giving me.
Let's put this to the test. First,
So it's a
listen to
$100
baseline call,
price
then a
increase.
super clear call.
Hello? Can you hear me?
I
Sorry,
see you
I'm
guys
passing
are
by a
starting to
construction
tune
site.
out. Thank you, anyways, to anyone who joined.
Hello?
I
Can you hear
understand
me?
this is not
Sorry,
the
I'm
most
passing by a
exciting
construction
stuff at
site
this
right now.
point, but
You hear the difference, right? You heard it. The city
But
noise
Hello
drops
saying,
away
no
and your
2 TB
voice
option on
stays
the
clear.
S26 Ultra stacks. Yeah, I
great
agree.
sound is also
Though it would have
how
been
it's
very
tailored to you.
expensive in the current market.
customizable equalizer,
like
you have the
Samsung's
freedom to
mobile
shape your
division,
sound,
like their smartphone
adjusting
stuff, is
bass,
separate
treble,
from their
and
storage
tone
division.
to match
But you
the
just
moment.
know that their storage division is
Galaxy
just
Buds 4
giving
series
all
also
the
adapts to you.
best storage
So
they can
sound
have
stays
to like
consistent
AI
and
servers right
refined,
now.
even
And we
as
have
you
Angelica join.
When there's
Saying
outside
she is
noise,
enjoying the
Galaxy
insights
Buds
of my
4
stream.
series
Thank you
generates
so much.
opposing sound
One of our
waves
Mark
to
Tech Pro
cancel
Max
out what you
long-term
don't want to
supporters.
hear, creating more immersive
More of you
listening
guys
experience.
actually here than usual. Like we have
Even
Jonathan,
when the
we have
fit
Max.
changes,
I think
advanced
the only
algorithms
Mark Tech Pro
monitor
Max level
sound
supporter
leakage
we are
in
missing
real
is Steve.
time and
Samsung being
automatically
greedy,
adjusts
$900 for
noise
the base
reduction
model,
for best
especially
isolation.
when the iPhone 17 base model
We
is
built Galaxy
800
Buds 4
and
series
can
to
be
honor
easily
the
had for
recording.
around 750
To deliver
nowadays,
sound that's
even closer
pure
to
and precise
700.
and
Yeah,
adapts
that
perfectly
price
to your
increase
use.
I think is going to cost them
to
dearly
really
in the
understand
United
this
States,
fidelity,
unless they
let's hear from
pair
someone who
up
spends
with a
more
lot
time in
of
the
carrier
studio than
providers
me.
and make sure that they offer like discounts, effectively dropping the price
사운드
to what
배치에
it
신경을
was
많이
last
써요.
year, at least very close to that.
말씀마다 구름마다
Well, this has been a
계속
very helpful
변화를
event
주죠.
for me. Now at least I know there's no point in upgrade to the S25. I'll just save some extra money and get an S25. No point to get the S26 getting... Yeah, I agree for the most part. Especially since the discounts on the older models are just they go way harder, right?
답한 대로 온전히 들려야 의미가 있잖아요. 만든 그대로 들어보세요.
Through what service are you even doing Galaxy Buds 4 Pro?
Thanks, Sugar.
Thanks, Sugar.
Now,
What?
A good sound experience
Jesus.
only lasts if the
Or
wearer
was that
stays
his
comfortable.
name? Did I just
We ran
misunderstand
extensive wear
it?
simulations
Did he say
using
Sugar?
hundreds of millions of ear data points from people around the world. The result is computational design so precise, you forget you're wearing them. With a fit this comfortable, control should feel effortless too. That's where AI comes in.
Oh God!
AI should be
Even
accessible
here, we
wherever you
couldn't
are,
stay
so you can
5
stay
minutes
productive
without AI.
even when your phone isn't within reach. With the Galaxy Buds 4 series, you can just now talk to Wake Your AI agent completely hands-free. We've brought the same effortless experience to the very first interaction, the setup. The moment you open the case, for the first time, just press a button, pairing is instant.
Okay. Basically, completely the
Buds
user
panel
interface of
is always
AirPods
within
pairing,
reach.
which is good.
In
It's
the
the
quick
best
panel.
user interface in the business.
If you ever misplace your buds, whether it's one bud or the charging
Find
case,
my-
you'll be able to easily locate them using
If Apple
Smart
were
Things
introducing
Find.
that many features that have been on other
Galaxy
platforms,
Buds
people
4
would
Pro
be
delivers a
screaming
full
and
range
bleeding
audio
out of their
experience
ears.
with an advanced two-way speaker system and a new, wider woofer.
Okay,
And across the
24-bit,
series,
96
you get hi-fi
kilohertz. I guess
audio
that's
with
what they meant with
intelligent
hi-fi. I guess
personalization
they have a
for
codec
balanced,
for that.
consistent sound.
Uh,
Galaxy Bud 4 Pro comes in white and black and an exclusive pink gold, available only
Flip
on
Hello, at least the base is
Samsung.com.
26, goes up to 512
Pricing
gigabytes
starts
in North
at
America now.
$249.
Yeah, but honestly, if you want more
Galaxy Buds
storage,
4
you're
comes in
probably
white and
just
black
better off getting like...
and is $179.
Well, I guess the price
They'll be
difference with the
available
Ultra is
beginning
still
March 11th
significant, but
alongside
man,
the Galaxy
once you
S26
add that
series.
money, you're so close in price. At least it's a percentage, you know what I mean? If the
Together,
Ultra started
with
with
the Galaxy
512
S26
gigs of
and the Buds 4
storage, I
series,
would be
we're building an
way
ecosystem
more
that's
understanding
powerful,
of its pricing.
personal, and
It would actually
integrated
make it
seamlessly into
$100
the
less
fabric of your
expensive
life.
than the iPhone 17
As
Pro
we
Max with
continue to expand
512
this
gigabytes.
ecosystem,
Not $100 more
it's
expensive.
with
And in
meaningful
prior
innovation
years,
isn't
the
just
Galaxies
about
would
the
have like
device can do
50%
today.
more memory than the iPhone at the
also
same
how it's
price,
made and the
which is
impact
still
it
kind
leaves
of true for the
tomorrow.
base model because the iPhone
So as we
17 has
bring
8 gigs
these
and the
incredible new
Galaxy
experiences
S26
to your daily
and
life,
Plus
we're equally
have
focused
12.
on reducing our
But
footprint
versus
and
the Pro
building
and Pro
more
Max,
responsibly.
the base
Tell us
256
more
and
about our
512 gig
commitment to the
configurations
future.
have 12
Please
gigabytes
welcome
on the
Kat.
Samsungs.
Thank you. At Samsung, we believe that pushing the boundaries of technology.
Jesus, my
mean
live
compromising
viewership
our
was
planet.
halved when they mentioned
Meaningful innovation
sustainability.
also has to be sustainable, and it's a commitment that we take seriously.
Or I guess maybe the number
Over
was
the
off.
years,
Seems
our
like
journey started with
an Ultra
innovative
phone should
recycled
not
materials
have
into our
256
products
gigs in
and rethinking our
2026, or
packaging
its
design.
price should reflect that it's
That effort has expanded
256,
to
right?
reducing standby
It should
energy
have
from
gone
power
down
adapters,
like $100
as well as
in price,
achieving
or maybe
zero
even
waste to
150 or
landfill in our
something, right?
global facilities.
Like $12.99
And
for
we
256
achieved all our
gigs.
goals for
And again, this is
2025.
Samsung. This is the company that makes their screens and stuff. Oh, by the way, I forgot. They didn't even talk about
But
the
we're
Exynos
not
2600 chip here, right?
Looking ahead to 2030,
They
we're
mentioned some
pushing
numbers, which
ourselves
most likely were
further,
the Snapdragon 8
expanding our focus
Elite
beyond our
Gen
own
5
operations
numbers or
to the
whatever.
environment and the
I think it's just
communities
Snapdragon
around
8
us.
Elite, right? Snapdragon 8 Elite for Galaxy.
First, let's start with materials.
Jesus. At least the base
latest
models
Galaxy
are all now
S26
256.
series, we've expanded our use
That's a
of
big
recycled
problem with
materials,
like the iPhone
including
16e
recycled
and
plastics,
the
glass,
Google
cobalt,
Pixel
alongside the
10a, which they
newly
start at
added tantalum.
128 gigabytes.
We're
I
also
hope Apple
incorporating
remedies
recycled
that
materials
with the
into every
17e. That
Galaxy
really needs
product.
to start with
From
256
mobile
for
phones,
$600.
tablets, laptops, and watches, as well as every module of every device, from the display.
Yeah, you can see that the camera is
camera
actually way more
the
pronounced
battery.
for the selfie camera,
But
which
our
is interesting because
don't end with
every
materials.
leak and
They
specs
extend to how we
thing,
use
rumor
and
that we have
return
heard thus
one of
far
the
that did
planet's
not point
most
to a
vital
notable
resources,
selfie camera
water.
improvement, which they didn't mention
We're
it on
working to
stage, so I'll
return
just
more water to
presume
the
it
environment
didn't
than
actually
we
change
consume,
much.
while meeting the highest standards for responsible water management. In many places where we operate, the importance of water is deeply felt, reminding us that our responsibilities go beyond
I mean,
using
even
it
in the West,
efficiently.
we have to be careful,
So,
right? With
through
all
local
the AI
partnerships,
usage.
we're now working to
For it,
restore
obviously, that
reservoirs in
water,
India and
it
improve
becomes
safe
vapor.
water
It
access
goes
in
back into
Brazil
the
by
atmosphere.
building wells
But
across local
proper
communities.
distribution of all that stuff still
And
matters.
lastly,
And
there's
obviously,
biodiversity.
some water just becomes
We understand
waste in
that
that
our
regard, and it
operations
has to be
impact
cleaned, and
the
that by
planet's
itself needs energy
ecosystem.
and everything. And
We
then
take that
materials are being
responsibility
used up for
seriously.
filters and shit like that. So,
That's why
and
we've set
some
a
stuff
clear
usually
goal
will still
to
go
conserve
into the
ecosystems
environment.
equal
So,
in size to our global operational footprint. By supporting restoration projects and partnering with local communities, we're turning our commitment into
restoring
measurable
stuff
action.
is not quite the same commitment
One
as
clear
committing
example
to
is our
not
work to
destroy
restore
shit,
coral
but
reefs.
I guess
Since
it's kind of like a
2024,
net
we've partnered
number
with
that
Sea
these
and the
companies are
Scripps
striving
Institution
for.
of Oceanography at UC San Diego to equip researchers and local partners with the Galaxy camera, supporting coral reef restoration. That includes Ocean Mode, a feature designed to capture true underwater color for high-quality images that researchers need to monitor and analyze reef health.
Okay, this is the most
now
useless
we're
pro-environment
bringing Ocean Mode
stuff
to
that
you
like you could
through
have mentioned
Expert
that
Raw on
Ocean
the
Mode is like a
Galaxy
regular
S26
camera
series.
feature. But
Giving everyday users the tools to see and help protect these endangered ecosystems for generations to come.
I mean, there's so
Because
much better
when you truly
cameras
see the
for all of
planet,
that. Oh, KSB
care about
Wonders.
want
Yeah,
to
Ocean
protect
Mode,
it.
basically optimized for underwater
As we continue
photography.
to advance this work, we remain focused
I don't know
on
why they're mentioning that in
consistent
the like
We want technology to
sustainability,
make
like environmental
conservation more
protection option. They should have just
accessible,
mentioned it as
scalable,
part
and
of the
inclusive.
camera. I also
Guided by
wonder
our
if it's
belief that
Galaxy
innovation
S26
can help
series
conserve
or
the
maybe even
planet
ultra
and
exclusive.
inspire action.
It's that kind of
Now, we
confusing
invite you to hear from
setup
our
for the
employees across
presentation
the
where you
globe
first
who are
talk
bringing our
25 minutes
sustainability
about
efforts
just
to
AI.
life.
Then
Their
you talk
dedication
about
reflects the
hardware
steady
that
progress
enables
we've
AI
made
with the
and the
chip.
future
Then
we're
you talk
working
about the
toward
camera.
together.
Then you
Thank
talk
you.
about the display, or maybe the other way around. And only then do you
Our
talk about
sustainability journey
sustainability.
is built on the
But now
everyday
you have
efforts
mentioned an
of
extra
people across
camera
the globe.
feature. It's giving me whiplash.
Today we want to share
Flip Halo, at least
how
the
we are
S26
turning
still
those
has a physical
efforts
SIM card
into
slot in
meaningful
America.
progress.
Yeah, but I'm a big
Step by
proponent
step,
of just
we've expanded
removing
the use of
single-use
recycled materials across
hardware.
our products.
Like, I
Transforming
hate SIM
ocean-bound
cards.
plastics
I'm
into key
actually
components,
angry
while
that
also
my
developing
iPhone
technologies
17
that
Pro
enhance
Max has
circularity
in Europe
and
still
give
a
new
SIM
life to
card.
waste materials.
I have an eSIM. I've used
We are
eSIM
always
since the
looking for
iPhone
ways to
10s
make our
days.
packaging
And
be
if I
mindful
wanted
design.
to, I could
This
have dual
includes removing
eSIMs.
single-use
So
plastics and
in that
simplifying the
regard,
overall
I'm
packaging
actually
structure.
am super pro going all in on eSIM.
By looking closely at our everyday
I would love
habits,
to.
we
It's not that
found
I
new
hate
ways to
SIM
cut
by
stuff
itself,
energy
though I'm
in
not a
power
fan of the
adapters.
technology.
And across our
If you can
facilities
replace it with
worldwide,
something
our
digital,
teams came together to
I
recycle
think
waste to
I think SIM cards should still exist,
progress isn't the
but
end.
they should be for
There's
like
always
dumb
another
phones
step
and
forward.
stuff like that, or for very cheap phones
The future
where
asks for more.
internal space
So to
usage
go
is not
further,
as maxed
we're
out
sharing
as like
our
an ultra phone
2030
anyway.
goals. More than a promise, we're deepening our commitment to
Well,
the
Apple
environment
sometimes will
surrounding us.
talk about environmental protection
Water remains
also,
a precious and
like not at
limited
the very
resource.
end of a
And we
presentation, but
believe
like
our
at the end of
responsibility
a
goes
presentation
beyond
of an
efficiency.
individual device,
We
right?
aim to give back more
Remember
water
when
than
they
we
talked
consume.
about using
By working with
100%
local
recycled
communities to restore
aluminum on
reservoirs
like the
and
Mac
improve
Mini or stuff like that,
agricultural
right?
water use.
Like those were like
And we'll
small
conserve
30
ecosystems
second,
equal in size
maybe a
to the
minute
footprint of our global
portions.
operations,
Now we're like what,
safeguarding
6-7
biodiversity
minutes
that
into
grows
just
alongside our work.
sustainability discussions?
We are also advancing circular design by incorporating recycled materials.
Oh my
into
God,
new
why is
Galaxy
this dude doing a
smartphones,
hostage video with like the
tablets,
saddest tone ever?
laptops, and watches. This approach guides how we develop our technology to create a new mobile experience.
This is our pledge to make purposeful progress for people and for the planet. Every day, people carry their Galaxy. They rely on it, they trust it. And now they're asking, what does this device say about me?
The answer is in the path we take. Designed for people with care for the world.
Mac
all
Mini
share.
production is moving to the
And no matter
US.
how
Yeah,
small, every
KSP,
step makes a
not
difference.
all Mac
This
Mini
is our
production,
journey.
probably enough to
Galaxy
cover
Prime.
the United States.
The human side of tech.
And it's happening in
built
the factory
with
where
purpose.
they're actually working with TSMC in Arizona on stuff like 4-nanometer processors. So they basically showed a large open room and said, here we would be doing, like I believe it was like an interview with the Wall
Thank
Street
you.
Journal. They even posted a video
As you
about
just
it.
saw, we are committed
But that basically
to
is going to
building
replace
technology
the Mac Pro
that
because
not
I
only
don't think the
enhances your
Mac
life
Pro is
today,
long for this world at this
but also
point. I think it's going to
helps
get
protect the
canceled by the
world
time
we all
M5
share tomorrow.
Mac Studios and definitely by the time the
that same
M6
sense of
generation rolls
purpose
around.
that drives our vision for Galaxy AI. Today,
You see, the
we
vision
talk
is
about
Galaxy
how
AI,
groundbreaking technology
not the actual phone,
starts as
right?
a model
It's not that
and eventually
Galaxy
becomes
AI
the
is
very
just an
infrastructure
improvement of your phone.
that you
It's
rely
that your
on
phone is
every
the
day.
vehicle for Galaxy AI.
Technology
You see how
that not only
wacko those
provides you with the
priority
best
levels are
experiences,
for a hardware
but
company
with
like
ease,
Samsung?
convenience, and choice. We are laying the foundation for the agentic AI era to create a true
Yeah,
AI
it's
companion
the fact that they're closing this
understands you,
event that's still
anticipate
primarily
your needs,
focused on an
and
actual
works
device,
on your
right? And the
behalf
family
in
of
the
devices.
background.
And they started it with
We are
AI.
so
A
excited
big
for
portion
you
of
to
it
try
was
the new
AI.
Galaxy
Every individual
S26
feature was
and
covered
Buzz
under the
Force
light of AI.
yourselves.
And then they're closing
Thank
it
you
with
very
AI.
much for
I
joining
think it
us
would have
today,
sent a much more positive image
see you
if
next
they
time.
actually ended it with the sustainability portion. Basically saying, oh, we like AI, but we also care about the environment at the end, because a lot of current AI discussion is focused on how AI is using a lot of energy, a lot of water, a lot of GDP. Okay. So that's the event. Guys, I think I'm going to very smoothly transition here to MKBHD's video. You guys can let me know if there's any, I guess I can check right away. Like, I guess SuperSef and others will have posted something already. Oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm not used to wired headphones outside of my streams. No, it's just going to be a very basic summary video. Guys, while I'm doing this, if you're enjoying yourself, please leave a like. That helps tremendously. You guys also see I love interacting with a lively live stream, getting your opinions, your agreements, your disagreements. So please keep chatting in the live chat. Also, afterwards, if you've enjoyed the stream, please leave a regular comment in the comment section. If you want to support me directly, you can leave a super chat or super sticker for a small financial donation. Or, of course, you can become a long-term supporter right here on YouTube with a channel membership. Also consider going to Patreon or to Discord. You'll find the links to both in the description of this channel.
Looks like a kind of interesting.
Okay, a 9-minute video. That's actually pretty short by everything, but okay, I guess we'll give it a chance. I might... yeah, 1440p is, I mean, my video is only set to 1080p, and I'll guess playback speed, usually we set it to 1.15. You guys can tell me if it might end up feeling too fast or whatever, or who knows, maybe too slow, and we'll have to correct that as well. Does he mention where this video, how this video was filmed? Because sometimes, like for his autofocus, where he covers cars, he will mention, oh, this was filmed with an iPhone, or this was filmed with a Xiaomi. I guess this was then filmed with like a professional camera. KSP wonders, the S26 Ultra looks like S25 Edge on steroids. Yeah, I mean, that's basically the evolution of the design language. And yeah, that actually brings up a good point that we actually did not get a successor to the Galaxy S25 Edge, right? And we did not get the long-rumored Galaxy S26 Pro, which would basically be a base model, but a little bit closer, maybe in camera features and stuff like that, to the Ultra. but we did not. We got the very traditional base model, plus model, ultra model, all of them differentiated by $200 in price, a price increase for the base and the plus model. But I guess we'll also get some summaries here from Marquez.
Welcome to what was supposed to be your first look and hands-on with the new Samsung phones this year. Unfortunately, that is in California, and it just snowed like 2+ feet here, and that's shut down all the flights for like 2 days. So I'm still here, and that's still in California. Thankfully, Brandon from the team did actually get all the way out to California from a city that got way less snow. And so he's seen the phones, and he shot the footage of them. He sent it back to me. I've got the spec sheets here, so I'm gonna put it all together, and we'll still take a first look together at what looks like a kind of interesting new set of phones from Samsung.
Yeah, kind of is probably a good. They have
expected,
one
the designs,
standout feature,
they're
but I
pretty
don't
similar
think
to
that's
last year
enough.
with just some slightly new colors and a slightly different looking camera ring with this little extra plateau around them now. But actually,
It's
the
not
first
a
thing that stuck out to
plateau,
me
it's
is
an
just the new
island.
prices. Typically, I'll just save that for the end because it's the same as last year, but not this time. This time, the S26 is $900, the S26 Plus is $1,100, and the S26 Ultra is $1,300.
Google AI
so this
did
comes
not
with a
mislead
bump up
me.
in base storage. So if you remember last year, the S25 launched at $799 and was 128 gigs. This year, the S26
it's basically what Apple did for their Pro models, right? They silently increased the price, but they got rid of the bottom 128 gigabyte configuration. And a lot of people thought that might actually be happening to the base iPhone 17. They thought it would basically get rid of the $799 128 gig configuration and then just start at $899 for 256 gigs, which is exactly what we're seeing for the Samsung S26 here. But Apple instead just flat out double the base storage in the iPhone 17, resulting in the iPhone 17 now being $100 cheaper. Now, yes, at that price, it also has less RAM, so same amount of storage, but less RAM. I also would probably guess that this is faster UFS 4.1 storage, which Apple uses very fast storage on the iPhone Pros, but then slower storage on the base 17. So some of it might be a bit justified, but we are long away from the era where Samsung would have like 2 times more RAM at the same price, or even 50% larger battery capacities at the same price, right? Stuff like this. It's actually, in my opinion, it is more expensive because of what Apple did, and of course because of the competition. For $900, you're getting Pro hardware from Chinese competitors, X200, Xiaomi 17 Pro, right? And then for the money that Samsung charges for the Galaxy S26 Ultra, you actually get for less money the Ultras from other brands, and those Ultras tend to have better specs. Those Ultras tend to have larger main camera sensors, way larger camera sensors for the zoom cameras, way larger batteries, like over 7,000 milliampere hours, even faster charging, like Samsung upgraded the Ultra to like 60 watts. Those devices give you like 90 watts, 100 watts. Some for a time even went as high as 120, I believe, but then it was quietly downgraded in subsequent generations. KSP saying S24 Ultra was the last premium looking flagship from Samsung. Well, it didn't help that Samsung, like, very clearly as a response to Apple, adopted titanium, but adopted a notably cheaper titanium, right? But at least, hey, it looked nice and everything. And now they're dropping it very quickly as well, right? So, but at least Apple went all in with aluminum now on the iPhone 17 Pro for cooling. Now Samsung has a much larger vapor chamber. That was clear from the video that they showed. But yeah, Samsung basically returned completely to an old design plus the new camera ring. Meanwhile, Apple, while yes, Apple has flip-flopped on the materials that they used, but at least they also kept changing the design. And I don't just mean the camera island / plateau. I mean like actual the feel of the device. If you touch the titanium devices, you will find that their edges are slightly softened and everything. They are more comfortable beyond just being lighter and more durable than the stainless steel model. The aluminum iPhone 17 Pros are even softer. Like they are some of the most comfortable, even though they are somewhat heavy phones that I've ever used. Yeah, so again, this is not like a Samsung versus Apple video, but I do kind of have to mention all of this given the focus of this channel and given the fact that they are now charging more than Apple across the board. Like this is $100 more than the iPhone 17 and the Ultra is $100 more than the 17 Pro Max. And that is versus the MSRP. Now, whenever Samsung launches a device, I know I'm rambling a lot, is the intro, probably basically pre-watching a lot of what Marquez has to say, but I think a lot of it is important. If you want to buy those devices, right now might be the best time, because right now, like for example, Flip Halo, you mentioned that it's bad that the Ultra phone starts with 256 gigabytes. Well, if you buy it right now, you basically get the 512 gigabyte version for the price of the 256 gigabyte version. So that's basically how you get how Samsung gets you, right?
$899, but it's also 256 gigs. But then also the S26 Plus is 256
yeah,
gigs.
That one
is
just flat out
it's
more
1,100
expensive.
instead of 1,000. And then the Ultra was 1,300. It's 1,300 again. You know, they've always come out with the fan edition later in the year as like the mid-range priced version of the phone, but it feels like they're making room for that now to
that one's going to be like $750 or whatever.
be like an $800 phone. So just a lot of price creep happening in this lineup. So then if that's the context for these new phones, then what is actually new to justify this new price? Well, they all got the spec bump we expected. Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 for Galaxy.
Okay, Snapdragon
We've seen
8
this
Elite
non-Galaxy
Gen
version
5.
of the chip be excellent already, and there's a lot of talk about NPU optimization for AI stuff on the Samsung one. More on that in a minute, but it looks like a good chip. And then the Ultra specifically is also slightly updated design, so it's a little bit thinner now. And
after the video, I want to go to the specs website. Now, I know that they won't mention like storage speeds. They just mention usually the generation of storage that they use, like UFS 3.1, UFS 4, UFS 4.1. But I would love to know if there are any changes to like the memory, because last year they were using 10,667 or 10,700 mega transfers per second LPDDR5X. So that is still a little bit faster than Apple's 9,600 mega transfers per second. But they've been using 10,700 now for a couple of years. They've been using 10,700 while Apple was using 7,500 mega transfers per second. And they were using 8,533 when Apple was using 6,400 mega transfers. So that gap is shrinking across the board. And Apple doubled storage speeds for the 17 Pro Max, which even if this has UFS 4.1, that isn't double the speed of UFS 4. And the iPhone, I believe, was already in some ways faster. So, yeah, there are some gaps that have existed historically. Battery capacity, that gap is gone. Main sensor size, that gap is gone. Ultra-wide sensor size, zoom sensor size, all gone. Charging speed, that one is now an advantage again for Samsung with 60 watts. But then again, it has no Qi 2 charging, so it has no... Well, it has Qi 2 with a case, but no built-in magnets. A case piece of wonder is saying, I just checked the trade-in value for my 17 Pro Max for the S26 Ultra. The value fell to 50%. I don't think that Samsung is going to give you just the highest value for the trade-in of a 17 Pro Max. I'm pretty sure if you went outside of like something by like a smartphone brand or even a carrier, if you try to manually sell your 17 Pro Max, you're gonna get a lot more than 50%. Because their plan is not to right away use it, they want to resell it. They want to have a profit margin on that sale. So I don't think this actually reflects negatively on the price development of the 17 Pro Max.
Less boxy and squared off. It's also back to aluminum sides instead of titanium. And
Okay,
they've redesigned
so
the
that's
vapor
a
chamber to
confirmation
fit
of
in the
something
standard
that
design.
we have
And there's also now
basically
slightly
kind of
faster charging
known.
across the lineup. Nothing dramatic, but 25 watts on the S25, 45 watts on the S26 Plus, and 60 watts on the Ultra. And then pretty much all the rest of the hardware changes are just on the Ultra, which now has slightly wider apertures.
I mean, that's not like, I would say that the one thing that I didn't like they basically didn't talk about the wider aperture on the zoom camera. That's why I was initially confused, because they mentioned f2.9 and I was like, wait, that's worse than Apple's. Did it get worse from before? Because in my head, I had kind of corrected the fact that they use f3.4 aperture to f2.4 for some reason, right? I thought that they were better than Apple in that regard, but no. So it is both the both the zoom and the main sensor get noticeably wider apertures, which should help, especially in low light.
Those otherwise unchanged primary and telephoto cameras, just to let more light in. So looks like we're going from f1.7 to 1.4.
Okay, f1.7. Okay, Apple, I believe, is at f1.78. So that's basically rounded to f1.8. I believe Pixel is at exactly f1.8. So Samsung was at f1.7. So the gap isn't quite that big, but f1.4 is still, from what I know, the widest aperture on any flagship.
And f3.4 to 2.4 on the 3X.
Wait, 2.4? I thought 2.9. Wait, did I misread that? I thought it said 2.9. That's also the problem. They show all of this stuff so quickly. Samsung S26 Ultra specs. So, yeah, GSM Arena, yeah, they will summarize those specs pretty well, but I would like to actually see Samsung's website. Why is that not the first thing you suggest? Google has gotten so weird over the years. Okay, that's the German website. Please do English. Oh God. Where can I get the English website? This is why I also hate websites that have so much freaking going on. It's so hard to find stuff. Okay, here. North America, United States, English. Yeah. Okay. So Galaxy S26 Ultra, Galaxy phones, Galaxy S. Okay, here it is. Learn more. Wait, is there a tech specs part on the website? Privacy display, see the details up close. There it is. Is it in the compare section? Oh, they copied Apple's compare website like one-to-one. Even the lack of detail relatively, right? Like, look, you can see the cameras, but they don't like mention the aperture right here. Really? You don't have a tech specs thing right away? Like, even Apple in that regard is more compare design. Yeah, the Galaxy S24 Ultra, by the way, weighs as much as the iPhone 17 Pro Max. Okay, it's funny, right? They our most powerful processor, but they do not mention this chip by name like right away, right? And they do have the Exynos 2600 for the lower end devices. So they try, like, you basically have to scroll down to see which is the exact chip, right? Here's the battery. So give us camera specs. Check the specs. Okay. 200 megapixels, f1.4. Yeah, it's 2.9. So Marquez got it wrong. So I actually saw it correctly. And if we compare it to the S25. Yeah, okay, so we had f3.4, now it's f2.9. We had f1.7, now it's f1.4. And this is also something where they lead Apple. Apple's ultra-wide is f2.2. But sensor sizes here are actually very similar to Apple's. Apple's is 1 over 1.28. Samsung's is 1 over 1.3. This is 1 over 2.5. 6 or 1 over 2.6. It basically depends on how you round it. For both the ultra-wide and the telephoto, those are basically almost the exact same sensors than Apple uses. So Apple has a wider aperture for the zoom, and they have a much better image stabilizer. So they should have still an advantage in low light here. I would assume that brings Samsung's main camera wide sensor pretty close to the experience of a 17 Pro Max. And the ultra-wide, unironically, I think is really better on Samsung than it is on the 17 Pro Max. It probably shouldn't be as big of a difference just from an f2.2 to an f1.9 aperture. But whatever software Samsung uses for the ultra-wide, I find it more pleasing. Except for a low light. There I find the iPhone still wins if you hold it steady and if you do night mode for the exact same amount of settings. The front-facing camera is one thing which they do not mention, where this is where iPhone has the advantage in sensor size. 1 over 2.5 inches versus 1 over 3.2. So that's a larger sensor, notably larger sensor on the iPhone, and a wider aperture, f1.9 on the iPhone versus f2.2 on the Galaxy. So I guess this is why they weren't that forthcoming with... Granted, they're not that forthcoming with sensor size here either, but I guess they would have mentioned it if it was actually better.
Pretty modest hardware changes, I would say. Still no magnets, and still no silicon carbon batteries. But there is one.
Look, silicon carbon batteries, okay, I get it. Apple is more careful with them. Samsung, obviously, after the disaster of the Galaxy Note 7, I kind of understand that. But really, you still don't want to give us regular Qi2 magnets? Wait, just to go back there, what is even the charging speed now? Because they mentioned 60 watts, but that's over USB-C. What's the charging speed now over... you see, by the way, the battery is exactly the same. It's in terms of advertised numbers, right? So this is not great. Because, think about it. This was a 4-nanometer chip. This was a 3-nanometer and 3E chip. So we are basically getting nothing, not from the more efficient panel, not from a newer encoder, video decoder, right, for just video playback. That is bad, in my opinion. And I believe this is noticeably smaller as a number than what Apple advertises. I think Apple is 38 hours or something. But then again, they probably tested different brightness levels with different materials and stuff like that. But yeah, when it comes to charging, they call it Superfast Charging 3.0. So, and because they do not have tech specs, I cannot find actual... they do not mention even the battery capacity. Am I crazy? Right? They just mention all-day battery life, but they probably have it on some kind of page, but they're obfuscating that. They know that they're behind notable Chinese competitors. And even versus Apple, Apple has, at least in the US, 100 million hours more, or somewhere around that. Depends a little bit on if you count typical capacity or advertised capacity. Jesus, that's so weird. This is this device. This device is not bad, but it really shouldn't be $12.99. It should be more $10.99, I would argue. It should be about $100 cheaper in MSRP than the 17 Pro Max.
Really cool feature to me, and it's just in the Ultra phone, and it's the new privacy screen feature. So I saw leaks of this. I didn't want to look into it too much, but now that it's real and I've seen this, at least the footage of it, it looks incredible. So you know those privacy screen protectors people put on their phones to kind of block others from seeing
I
what's on their
actually
screen?
don't know anyone who uses that, so that probably should tell you something about it. Everyone I know who uses like a display cover, glass, whatever, they just use a fully transparent one. In fact, they're gunning for the ones with the lowest reflectivity and stuff like that. KSP saying the privacy screen means you can't see who's calling you from an angle if you have it on. But but this is a hardware feature that's baked into the software. So from what I understand, there are basically 3 modes. It's fully off, it's on, or it's tuned to the max, right? At which point it has extremely low viewing angles, basically just you looking directly from the front. But in regular mode, it should be usable for everyday use, basically. And obviously, if it's off, it should behave mostly like a normal phone. Again, there are some differences in hardware, like those narrow pixel apertures, right, through which pixels send light. That could cost you a little bit in viewing angles in general, or a little bit in brightness, or at least in efficiency versus brightness. But we'll have to see.
Probably seen one on someone else's phone at some point. They look kind of horrible. So instead of that privacy screen protector, which is annoying and also always on, this is a hardware level control over the pixels on the display that can be turned on or off whenever. And when you turn it on, the display should look unchanged from straight on, but as you get off axis, it actually fades to gray and almost black from both the horizontal axis and vertical axis. So you're still seeing a normal display from straight on.
By the way, one thing that I would like to praise here, I do like these rounded corners. Now, my ideal would be somewhere between this and the iPhone, the iPhone probably being more like this, right? I guess the Pixel does a good job of doing what I want, but given the fact that this device still has a stylus, the bezels, by the way, look a little bit thick, but they should be about as thin as the 17 Pro. But given that this device has a stylus, they expect you to draw on it and stuff like that. I do like these corner radius here, that they're corner radii, sorry. In case people understand Samsung spec sheet on Discord, thank you. You send it as a PDF, Jesus. Thank you. Yeah, f1.4, f2.9, f1.9. Okay, yeah, seems like everything that I got from the website is about right. Yeah, the front camera is still f2.2 aperture. They do not advertise any big changes about that. It's USB 3.2 Gen 1, so it still has half the speed. This is 5 gigabits per second versus the iPhone's 10 gigabits per second. It has Bluetooth 6. It has Wi-Fi 7, obviously. It should have like an X85 modem. The battery capacity typical is 5,000. It's lithium ion, no silicon carbon and whatever. Yeah, all makes sense. Given that little has changed, I guess materials is something that wouldn't really be... I see now where you got the specs, by the way. Yeah, I could have found that on the website, but thank you. Thank you so much, guys. This is, by the way, why I love whenever you contribute to the chat, because you can send me your insights, your opinions, but you can also send me relevant info that I will then use for my actual coverage. And guys, we've been are about 2 hours into the stream. Again, if you haven't liked the video yet, but you're enjoying and watching this, please do so. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and hit the notification bell. That way you actually know whenever the next live stream comes up. I do plan on, obviously next week, we will be reacting to like the launch of the iPhone 17e, the M4 iPad Air, the M4 MacBook Air, and the M5 Pro and M5 Max MacBook Pros. So there is a lot just from the Apple side. But then also we should be getting quickly soon after that reviews and detailed camera comparisons for the Galaxy S26 series, battery reviews. Like I specifically like to go on GSM Arena for that kind of data. I personally am not a reviewer. It's just between my work at the hospital and between this being a hobby, my personal life and stuff like that, I just wouldn't have the time. So I just don't try. But I do try to be the best summarizer that I can be. Obviously knowing chip performance, battery life data, display brightness stuff. So yeah, if you want to see more of that, stay tuned. And as always, leave a super chat or super sticker in this live chat if you want to support me directly, or consider becoming a channel member right here on YouTube.
Shoulder or sitting next to you, we'll see basically a blank screen. That's genuinely really sick. And hey, I'm not going to judge why you need this or what you're blocking on your screen, but there is actually a pretty good amount of customization over how exactly this works or when you can use it. So you can turn it on or off, obviously, which is already sick. But you can also have it automatically enable in certain locations or for certain apps, like just for your banking app or just for your photos.
You know what? I'll actually give praise. That's a pretty good optimization to make it app specific potentially. Yeah, that's probably, I'm not sure if they mentioned it on stage. Maybe I was babbling while they were presenting it. But if they weren't talking so much about AI, that's definitely something I would have appreciated hearing, and I would have given them praise.
It can even be parts of the screen. So just for the password field while you're filling in a password somewhere, it will just black out that. Or just for the top part of the screen where notifications come in, it will do just that. I think this is awesome. This also, to me, if you think about it, is like the most Samsung thing ever. Like Samsung, for the past couple years, as we know, has been super conservative with these like flagship phones, especially with the design. But they're also the same company that will try absolutely insane stuff, like the Galaxy Note Edge back in the day, where like one side of the display curved over the bezel.
That's the Samsung I miss.
That turned into the other Galaxy S edges, where both sides melted over. They did the Galaxy Note first, which is this huge display, and then of course Galaxy Fold, which is super early and risky. And now they have a literal trifold, which is nuts. And all of these things, all these crazy designs that they decide to try are all based around display innovations. So curved screen, waterfall screen, folding screen, multiple folding screen, and now this privacy screen. So like this feels like a very Samsung thing to try, and I hope it catches on, because I know if any other company was trying
this should be, given that it's basically a hardware feature that's on top of kind of the regular AMOLED construction, I don't see why other smartphone manufacturers wouldn't be able to buy it from Samsung. Again, there are some questions about its impact on battery life and whatever, but it is definitely a worthwhile feature, and I could see Apple implementing that in the future as well.
Would all be loving it too. I just hope this finds some success in the Ultra and then starts making its way to other phones, because it's sick. So then most of the rest of what's new in this S26 lineup is, I mean, you're going to see commercials with it. I'm guessing most of the keynote is going to have a lot of this. It's AI features, and they range from decently useful to full-on slop. Like, they're just trying a bunch of stuff. They managed to clone over some of Google's biggest hits from the Pixel, like call screening, which is welcome.
Which,
they also added their own...
To be quite honest, if you had put a gun to my head yesterday and asked me, does Galaxy AI have call screening from like the Pixels, which have had it for years, I would be like, yeah, I mean, of course they do. Like, they have been doing Galaxy AI for at least 2 years, right? That would have been my first instinct.
Version of Magic Cue, which they're calling Now Nudge, which basically lives in the keyboard and gives you suggestions of things.
It's basically exactly that, but like with a slight Samsung visual touch on top.
Bring in from other apps. It's context aware. It should be decently helpful. And there's also some big claimed improvements with Bixby now being LLM powered. We've seen some other companies struggle with that lately, but you know, with some Gemini integrations and some new Perplexity integrations, could be decent.
Yeah, but like Perplexity, like this is one thing that I would love to know what exactly is meant by Perplexity integration. Do they mean the first party Perplexity LLMs? Or does it mean if you have like a Perplexity Pro subscription, like what I do, can you integrate basically like Claude Sonnet 4.6? Can you integrate Gemini 3.1 Pro? Can you integrate ChatGPT 5.2, right? That would be my preferred outcome of integrating Perplexity. Like their first party models are, not even sure how committed they still are to those. Like they're just so far behind Anthropic and OpenAI and Google. And all the open source or open weight models like Kimi K2.5, Qwen 3, all that stuff, GLM 5.
I mean, I'm not going to say anything until I try it, but, you know, new Bixby could be good. But then they also did something called Photo Assist, which is essentially
Which again, why would I use Bixby in a device with already Gemini, right? Because at least with Gemini, I know that I also have the integration with Google services, which is what I would want to use.
With Google Photos, it's like AI photo editing, but built into the gallery, which it's cool tech. I don't know if it's selling any phones. It'll probably be a software update for older phones, but
it better be.
They also did Creative Studio, which is kind of the same thing as like Apple's Image Playground. Borderline useless in my opinion. But like I said, it feels like they're just
like Apple's best feature when it comes to actually like generative AI to me has been Genmoji, because the best Genmojis are when you just know, oh, there are two emojis that exist. Let me combine them. And for that, obviously, generative AI is quite good if you have really hard data, which it can use to then create something new. Just generating stickers and images, like the best stuff for that are going to be the larger models from the cloud anyway. And in which case, all we are getting here is the integration of that stuff right into the app, or right into Samsung's apps. It's not going to be running on device. Like Apple's Image Playground is partially as bad as it is. It's not bad for being on device, but it's bad because it's on device, right? If you compare it versus cloud solutions.
A bunch of stuff at the wall in the world of AI just to see what will stick, see what people will like. They're actually calling it an AI phone in some of the press stuff that I've seen for it, which I don't love. I feel like in an age where it's more important than ever to get real photos and videos from people's cell phones, the slippery slope of like all this AI stuff in our photos, it's weird. I'm not sure I love how far down the slope we're going, but here we are. Anyway, no real massive surprises. These all very much look and feel like Samsung phones, where most of the differences are just like the small quality of life things.
So from what I understand, the spec things he hasn't mentioned is that the base model has a larger battery, but it's such a small difference. But even then, I would be like, oh, the base model gets a larger battery, but not the Plus or the Ultra, especially the Ultra, which has started lagging behind competition for at least like 2 years now, right? When the Ultra had like 5,000, a lot started getting like 5,500. Then like a year or two, like 1.5 years ago, a lot of phones started getting about 5,800, 6,000. And now over the last year, we've been getting like 6,500, 7,000, even 7,500 milliampere hour phones. It's just not looking good. And those phones have the same processor. They either have a Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, or they have like a Dimensity 9500, which is very close to it in a lot of ways. It's based on N3P. It's slightly it's lower clocked, but it's also using a different core directly from ARM, the C1 Ultra. It's just not great, right?
And subtle evolution over time. This is not one of their big Hail Marys. My take is the Ultra feels like a little bit of a refresh, and it's a cool place to try this privacy screen thing. I'm very excited to see it.
Yeah, I mean, but the problem is, like if you are like a big capitalist, right? You know sayings like a rising tide lifts all boats, right? Or trickle down economics, like when we go back to stuff like Reaganomics, right? Think about what Samsung hasn't done, right? The Galaxy S24 4 Ultra implemented features like an anti-reflective coating for the Ultra. This has not come to the Plus or the base model, even despite price increases, right? Obviously the stylus, but I'm fine with the stylus staying a differentiation point. We have more of like the tetra prism zoom camera that goes beyond 3x on the Ultra. Again, still not on the Plus or the base model, despite price increases. Like the Galaxy S26 Plus costs now as much as the iPhone 17 Pro. It's just $100 less expensive than the 17 Pro Max. And it's basically worse in every way than the 17 Pro Max, right? I just don't know what Samsung is thinking with this pricing, especially in the United States and much of the West. I guess the Galaxy S25 series sold really well. It even outsold the Galaxy S24 series. But I'm not sure if it will be able to do that. I think in China, Samsung has basically no chance with these specs at these prices. I think in Europe, we've already seen the iPhone 17 series overperform Apple's prior years. And Apple, again, did not do a price increase in Europe. And in America, while Samsung is definitively like the second choice of people, and it will probably stay that way, but I will predict that Apple probably gained some notable market share like in the United States with this kind of Samsung pricing.
In person and try it out. Looks pretty sick. The base phone's going up by $100. Not so excited about that. Seems like they didn't try a whole lot of other stuff with those phones.
Yeah.
But let me know what else you want to see in the full reviews in the comment section below. And of course, get subscribed to see the reviews as soon as they come out, because that's what the button is for. If you're planning on grabbing an S26
Yeah, okay,
Ultra.
so I guess he will mention some like early promotions. I've already mentioned that you can get like I guess I could even show you that right here, right? 256, 512. Wait, really? I thought that would be an early. No, don't use my current location. Sky blue, violet. Wait, does the discount only does not apply with the carriers? Okay, I might have to take it back. Wait, they do not offer that discount as they usually do, which is you get the higher storage config. We use a 2.5D screen protector of the S25. Will the curvature cause light leak and make the privacy feature useless? I'm not sure. I'm honestly not sure how this will work with screen protect. Like if it's a fully transparent screen protector, I will assume that it will just make things worse across the board. It will not be as anti-reflective, and it might interfere a little bit with the privacy feature. But it's probably not actually going to make the privacy feature worse, because usually having a screen protector on top just makes your viewing angles worse anyway. Now, I'm not sure, how would a 2.5D protector even work on a completely flat device? 2.5D screen protector Samsung S. I'm just gonna look up for the S25 Ultra. Yeah, these are just regular screen protectors. Like, is that what you mean by 2.5D? I don't think that those should interfere in any bad way. If anything, they will just make the anti-reflective nature of the screen, which is the one spec where it's actually really superior to the iPhone. Now, I do have some problems. I do not think this anti-reflective coating is as no compromise as some people pretend it is. I still think it results in some less vibrant colors and stuff like that. But no, I don't think you should have any big issues. If anything, I also recommend just wait, right? Like, look, I understand maybe early pre-order discounts might be attractive, even though I wasn't able to actually find any. Like, what if we look at the base models? 50% off with code PayPal50. Why do you do this on your website? Just make it $50 for the up to 10% of watches, buds, and more. Okay. Whatever, but like I cannot actually see the usual. Oh, wait, if I click on the pricing, no, the price still moves up. Like in prior years, sometimes if you click on it, it would then get readjusted here. That's weird. That's honestly really weird. But hey, at least one praise that I have for this is now that the side rails are at least color matched to the back. With titanium, Samsung didn't bother with that. And in my opinion, it resulted in the S24 Ultra and S25 Ultra losing a lot of its potential premium factor that, in my opinion, it should have had because it was titanium. But alas, it did not. An online exclusive is Silver Shadow. That's just gray. And pink gold. Which, am I crazy or is this too yellow to be pink gold? But okay. Maybe my brain is fried in that regard. I'm slightly colorblind, but not that colorblind. That is a very, very timid sky blue. I would have hoped that the return of aluminum, at least on the sides, would have resulted in more vibrant colors. But I guess violet is your best choice in that regard. I guess that's why they mostly even use that in most promotional materials. That being said, guys, we've been streaming now for almost 2.5 hours, and I am getting pretty tired. I definitely did not expect to be streaming that long, and I also don't think that we'll have too much extra material from other YouTubers. I definitely thank you guys for tuning in. Quite good numbers. I did not expect that. My last Samsung streams did not perform as well, so I'm very happy and grateful about that. Before I tune out, I'll actually give you some big mark action, is what we call it around here, as I slowly wrap this up. Basically, I did not hate the event as much as I hated some of the last ones. I guess I was kind of prepared for the AI garbage, but it was still a lot of AI garbage, and I still did not like the event, right? The devices are fine, but in my opinion, the pricing is not great on the Ultra and not even good on the base model and the Plus. I think specifically the Plus actually annoys me even more, because at least with the base model you can kind of make the argument that there aren't a lot of 6.3-inch devices, even though the iPhone 17 is 6.3 inches and I believe the base Xiaomi is 6.3 inches. But at least you could make the excuse, oh, that's a smaller phone, that's a little bit unique. But the Galaxy S26 Plus just sucks in comparison to the iPhone 17 Pro Max, and it's $100 less, which is not great when you have worse cameras, worse screens, worse battery life, worse performance across the board. And then the Ultra has the same storage and RAM as the 17 Pro Max, but for more money. And then again, don't forget that the 17 series has now been out for half a year. The S20, part of why the S25 series has actually been able to outsell the S24 series is because it kind of has been on the market for a month longer, right? If you remember, like the S25 presentation, it was at the end of January, and then it came out early February. Now the S26 family is actually being presented late February and launching early March. So it was basically delayed by a month. That's because the Galaxy S26 Edge was canceled, and the Galaxy S26 Pro basically was tuned back into the base model. So, which, even if that wasn't a big re-engineering effort, that still cost some time, even just changing the marketing materials and everything. But yeah, man, like honestly, if your phone is fine, like I definitely do not, like I believe one of you guys in the chat even said like, oh, okay, the upgrades are really small. I'm just going to get the S25 for way less money. And honestly, I think that's probably your best choice. And I mean, I couldn't replicate the early buyer like discounts that we usually get. But if you can, maybe that makes some sense, like saving $200. But even that won't make those phones into great value, especially the base models, especially the Plus. I think I hate the Plus more than I ever did. At least the Ultra is now stacking up a lot of interesting hardware, like the anti-reflective coating and the privacy display are actually unique differentiations, right? But the Plus has absolutely nothing, right? It just has worse battery capacity, it has worse cameras and everything versus every other phone in its price range. I guess the iPhone Air would be like potentially worse value than the S26 Plus, but then the iPhone Air is designed to be unique and to be sold on its design, right? Rather than its like raw numerical value in terms of battery capacity, amounts of cameras, and things like that. Yeah, this has been an interesting one. I definitely like so many of you tuning in. Yeah, KSB, you're right. The Plus is now like a decoy for upselling you on the Ultra. It reminds me a little bit of what Apple used to do with the MacBook Air, where if you configured, well, it kind of is still the truth, right? If you configured the MacBook Air with the same amount of storage and RAM as the MacBook Pro, you were actually just $200 removed, right? Upgraded to 512 gigabytes and 16 gigs of RAM back when the MacBook Air had 8 gigabytes. The MacBook Pro also started with 8 gigabytes, but you kind of always could get the 16 gigabyte model very quickly as like discounted, right? So you kind of had like maybe $250 of a difference between them. So a lot of people will tell you, just buy the Pro, right? And I feel like that's a little bit what Samsung is doing. Like they made the Plus so bad in a way, at least from a raw value perspective. Like I know people who buy the Plus, right? My stepfather and one of my best friends actually own Plus models. I believe he owns an S25 Plus, and I believe my best friend owns an S24 Plus. Might be the other way around. I get confused, right? But they buy it because the S26, the S Ultra, is usually very unwieldy for women especially, but even some men don't like how it feels in the hand. Now with the aluminum, the thickness reduction, it should actually be fine for more people again. And now that the Plus is a worse value proposition in that regard, I think that Samsung really wants to push even more people to the Ultra. The Plus is already the worst selling model in the Galaxy S family. I think it's like 45% or something for the Ultra, then 30% or something for the base model, and then like less than 20% for the Plus. Could be even worse. I believe I saw the numbers like yesterday in a graph or something, and I think that they basically might want to push out the Plus, kind of what Apple did with their Plus models. Man, think about it. If Apple's base model had a Plus version that was just $100 more expensive, that would be an $899 device versus Samsung's $1099 device. But alas, Apple got rid of it, made the iPhone Air. It seems like nobody likes the Pluses in their lineup. Everybody wants to sell Pros and Max and Ultra devices. Yeah, but that's about it from me for today, guys. Thank you so much. It was a very fun stream. Thank you so much for chatting a lot. Thank you to Max for the super chat that unfortunately never arrived, but thank you for the membership milestone chats from Max and Jonathan. Guys, if you watch this and enjoy this, please leave a like. Please don't just comment in the live section, but also comment afterwards. That helps a lot with the algorithm. Beyond all that, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. That way you know when I'm going live next. Share the video out or the channel with anybody who you think might enjoy this as well. And of course, consider becoming a long-term supporter here via channel membership. Shout out to Angelica, Steve, Max, Maximus, and Jonathan, our MarkTech Pro Max supporters here. Or you can go to Patreon as well, or you can support us by just joining the Discord, becoming part of the community, chatting with us, communicating, giving me suggestions, giving me information that I should cover. Thank you so much. I see KSP also adding the live long and prosper sign. Thank you. I'll see you soon. This is MarkTech tuning out.